Hello, gentle viewers! I'm very excited to have all of you watching this right now. Thank you so much for being here. Good Highway is a mashup game of Good Society and Atomic Highway where our lovely players navigate their way through society with the hopes of winning the most daring event of the year, the Grand Race, one of the few ways one can move up in society. Welcome to Chromatic Unlimited 2025 Black History TTRPG fundraiser. This year we're raising funds on Tiltify for Black Girls Rock. Black Girls Rock is an organization and movement dedicated to empowering and celebrating Black girls and women through programs focused on leadership, education, cultural enrichment, and foster self-worth, pride, and empowerment. Each weekend of Black History Month, channels including this one, Chromatic Unlimited, Obsidian Views, House of Dreams, and Nerdgasm Noir Network will be hosting actual plays and panels to raise funds and show our passion, unity, and creativity. And of course, we got to give a big thanks and shout out to this year's sponsor, Transplanter RPG. Transplanter RPG is an award-winning, all-transgender, people of color-led dark fantasy channel telling stories in an original, non-colonial, anti-Orientalist multiverse. They are proud to support the Chromatic Unlimited Black History Month fundraiser and encourage everyone watching to give what they can. As always, we stand in solidarity with all oppressed people of the US and the world fighting for freedom against colonization, imperialism, and white supremacy. Free Sudan, free DRC, and free Palestine. You can donate to Black Girls Rock by clicking in the link in the chat to the Tiltify, where your donations will be tracked live, and also check out the links to each of our cast members. And speaking of our cast members, I'm gonna let them take it away, in fact. Angie, if you could start us off, please.
Yeah, hi, my name is Angelique, also known as Angelica Babino online, and you can find me at instagram.com/alanset_books. She, her pronouns.
Thank you so much. And would you like to tell us the name and pronouns for your character, who you're going to be playing today,
Sure.
and anything you think you want the audience to know right up front before we get started with all of the fun times?
Sure. I'm going to be playing Vanessa St. Pierre, also she, her pronouns. She is the eldest daughter of the esteemed St. Pierre line, and is happily engaged at the moment. So that is what I have right now.
Thank you so much for that. Gwen, please take it away.
Hi, my name is Gwen, or Lecto either is fine. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me at Glitchy Pixie at most places. I am a tabletop RPG performer, designer, and marketer. I am going to be playing Desdemona Enigmas, who uses she and he pronouns, who is definitely a scientist and has found an alternative to steam power. At least her family did. And she's also definitely happily engaged.
I believe both of you. Hamna, please take it from there.
Hello everyone, my name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. You can find me all over the social medias at Lilith TTRPG. And today I have the honor of playing Elahe Ghalib, who uses he, him pronouns. And Elahe is a deacon of the church who has not misstepped a single time, not once ever.
I also believe you completely. No lies detected. And Gray, please.
Hi, I'm Gray. I use they, them pronouns. I am a TTRPG enthusiast, player, GM, all those sorts of things. You can find me on most social media at Aliengenic. And today I am going to be playing Ambrose Holland. Pronouns is definitely a legitimate child, and not looking to prove anything to any parents at all whatsoever.
Also completely believable. And because I forgot to do it, hey everybody, my name's VJ Harris. My pronouns are they, them, he, him, and something funny, as in if you think of a funny pronoun, I'll use it. I've had 3 other people give me funny pronouns, and so I'm always looking for more. So just drop them in the chat and, I'll probably see it. You can find me everywhere at VJH Creations, and everywhere includes Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Tumblr. Honestly, if you type VJ's Creations in there, and I'm not there, try VJH_creations. And if that's not there, then I'm just not there, folks. I am a full-time TTRPG designer and professional game master. And in my spare time, I like to run and play in games with people for fun or for charity events, such as this one. But yeah, that's me. And folks, we will be right back to get started in today's... I don't know if festivities is the right word. Sure as hell it's gonna be something. See you shortly, folks. Hello, gentle viewers. This chapter of our story begins shortly after the last qualifier race leading up to the grand race. While many entered, only 4 progress. Elahe Halib, Desdemona Enigmas, Ambrose Hollins, and Vanessa St. Pierre. The race was equal parts difficult and entertaining, with lives lost such as Zacharias Camden, Caspian Lockwood, Olivette Savoy, and Calliope Brent, a quarter of as many that died in the previous 2 races. Of course, there were still some entertaining injuries, with Horaya Montecro having their arm completely blown off and sent flying into the stands to be caught by none other than Duchess Viola Erickson, a distant relative to the Queen herself. Zooming in on our winners of the final qualifying race, you all find yourself in a sitting room in the home of Viscountess Major Variety Godfrey. The Godfreys have been hosting the grand race for many years, and upon returning from her military service, Major Godfrey has taken up the reins. This elegant sitting room is decorated in blacks and reds. Deep red furniture stands strikingly against the black wooden walls and paneling surrounding the stone fireplace. In the center of the room, a tray of tea and cookies have been prepared. What are all of you doing?
I think I am trying to get grease out from underneath my fingernails as we are, like, as discreetly as possible. Um, Sitting close to like a window. And again, trying to be as discreet as humanly possible while doing this.
Meanwhile, Elahe, who stands at about roughly 5'6", is standing near the fireplace with a teacup in one hand and a saucer in the other. His sort of dark brown skin being lit up by the fire in the fireplace. And he stands there looking out to the rest of the parlor, to the rest of the dining room, kind of taking in the other 3 qualifying racers, and takes a very long sip of his tea as his eyes kind of like look over the teacup to his competition.
And attempting to bury his face also in a teacup is Desdemona Enigma, who has this tanned skin, slicked back black hair with a shock of gray in it, a scar over one eye, a long maroon trench coat with a white sort of like lab coat tucked into pants, and very heavy boots. Has been fiddling with things in the trench coat and nervously putting the teacup down and then picking it back up, taking a very long sip, putting it down. Seems unsure of where she should be putting her attention at this time.
Yeah, I think Ambrose is kind of staring out the window, like arms kind of behind the back, appearing to look out onto, the city or garden or wherever we are below, but keeping an ear, a very, very nosy ear out to the fellow racers in this room. They are rather tall, wearing sort of a neat suit and jacket, and their long hair is kind of pulled back behind their head in a low ponytail with a little ribbon.
Before we continue, folks, we are going to take just a brief second. Short technical difficulties on my end. It's not a stream if we don't have those to start off with, so be right back, folks. Hello, folks. Thank you for bearing with us. Like I said, is it a stream without technical difficulties? We realized that some of the captions weren't working momentarily, so apologies if it was happening earlier and we just missed it. It should be working fine now moving forward. And also, now that we've had all of our players introduce them into what they're doing, we're actually going to put the highway into the good right now, because our fair Vanessa St. Pierre said she was trying to be discreet and stealthy. And so, and for anybody who missed this is a mashup of Good Society and Atomic Highway. And Good Society typically doesn't have things such as stealth checks or nimbleness checks or anything like that. But because we're doing a mashup game, it's a perfect opportunity to try this right now. And so, Angie, we are in a enclosed area. It's not particularly large. I think it's fair to say at least a couple of your companions in here are keeping an eye out on everybody else as well. So I will set this at a difficulty of extreme. Now, folks, I know that sounds very, very serious, but it's not. You only need 2 successes for an extreme. The first level difficulty is called difficult. And so how that works is, I'm going to say this is a nimbleness check. And so I'm looking at Angie's character sheet right now, which means, Angie, you're going to roll at least, you're going to roll 3d6, and you're going to need 2 6s to succeed. And let's see, you also have stealth, which means you can use your plus your 1 in that stealth to try and bump up one of the numbers to try and get to a 6. But yeah, so roll me those 3d6 and tell me how many of them become successes, either through naturally or you bumping it up.
I have 1 success. I rolled 2 5s and a 2, so add 1 to one of those 5s, and I only have 1 success.
Ooh, unfortunate.
So unfortunate.
I will say, since you were almost there, you were halfway there, I think we can say that, let's see, which of you, I think I know which one of you is going to have seen this, but let me just... Elahe, I think you're going to be the one that actually noticed it. The other two, I don't think you quite noticed the cleaning of the grease underneath, but that has been spotted. The real question is, what is going to be done with that information? But with that, I am opening the floor once again to all of you talking amongst yourselves or whatever you're going to be doing prior to the major stepping in here to speak with you.
Vanessa, kind of sees the long, lingering looks over teacups from multiple people in the room and kind of like tucks her little file back into her pocket. She's wearing like a very austere navy blue dress. Her hair is like dark and kinky and is pulled into like a tight bun at the back of the nape of her neck. She is broad and stocky, roughly 5'9". And so she generally takes up quite a bit of space in the room, though she is unsurprised that her stealth did not quite go how she wanted it to, and sees Desdemona fidgeting a little bit with her lab coat and his like things in his pockets. It's just like, darling, is everything all right? Are you well?
Oh, betrothed. Well, I'm doing just fine, just shaking off the nerves from the last race. I'm not used to being out and about all this time. It's been quite some time since I've had such high octane driving.
Yes, that last grenade launcher was quite well done. Um, I don't think that Sir Fauntleroy had any idea that you were about to wow. It was quite the occasion. Well done.
Well, it isn't my fault that he couldn't handle the tear gas, but that's all right. And it advanced both of us into the finale. And Desdemona, she has this, even though she seems nervous, carries herself in a way that is much older than she is. She's only 23, but she acts as if she's been here for a lot longer. She hasn't.
Seeing this conversation, Elahe puts his teacup and saucer up on the mantle of the fireplace and turns his small, beady eyes, holding them on Vanessa for a beat longer than perhaps he should. And he runs his hands through his hair, which is long, thick, and black, kind of like pomaded down into a very proper, slick shape. And he smiles softly and says, "It seems that you have had quite a difficult race in the last round." And Elahe is specifically addressing Vanessa in saying that, though kind of framing it as if it is to the whole room.
Well, Blossom does the best that she can. My dedicated vehicle. She has carried me well through multiple qualifying races, and I'm sure that she will carry me over the finish line in a few short days, weeks. I lose track of time sometimes.
Well, God willing that we should all make it out of this well. Don't you agree, Ambrose?
Of course. Why wouldn't I? They kind of turn, just to sort of face the group. I think maybe steps forward a bit, just to be a little bit more part of that circle in the in like the couches parlor area. I think they regard Elahe much cooler than everyone else. Just sort of that subtle dislike, but keeping it masked enough for polite society.
I think Desdemona can't even focus on the conversation at hand. Maybe just being a bit distracted at the conversation happening between the two individuals in front of him, and is trying so hard. Looks like he wants to engage. He wants to so badly, but she really can't.
Well, this is a good show. I suppose that hopefully Major Godfrey will be around shortly. Should we go and summon for them? And Vanessa tries to pull on a cord, and the whole thing just kind of snaps off because it's not a bell summoning. It's just part of a decorative part of the room. And she's like, "Oh dear, sorry," and just kind of carefully dumps the rope in a nearby vase.
Actually, I think as you are dumping it in a nearby vase, the door swings open, and in walks Viscountess Major Godfrey. Is in their military uniform. It is standard for any of the races for the head of the family to be in their uniform. Each of the heads of the family, as you know, have served, so it is kind of a long-standing thing there, as well as at the grand race, everyone being in their uniforms. They are tailored as needed for everybody to be able to fit in them as life changes happen. But Major Godfrey stands before you, very light brown skin that is darkened in the sun in this excellent summer's day. Short hair that kind of comes down below the ears, but is still just above the chin in a way that is proper. The uniform is immaculate. Multiple medals and rankings adorn the left and right side in perfect prim order, not a single thing out of place. She stands there and looks at all of you, gives a very judgmental but brief look at Vanessa, who is currently Congratulations, each of you have made it. The four of you shall be in the grand race. That'll happen in 2 weeks' time. So prepare yourselves, prepare your vehicles, prepare your families, your loved ones, any of those that you will leave behind in one way or the other, rather through victory or through death. You should not have any questions about what comes next, perhaps you, Ambrose. But the rest of you, you have seen many a grand race. But if you do have questions, you are free to formally write them and submit them to my house servant, and they will be answered to you promptly. Best of luck to you all. I look forward to welcoming one of you into the upper echelons of society. And as she says that, she looks at all of you except for Vanessa. You may take your time finishing your tea. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying that I think Ambrose gives like a slight, just a polite little bow when she kind of both acknowledges them and also comes into the room, etc. Best behavior.
Kind of gives you a side-eyed look, not in a demeaning way, but in a very much yes, somebody with proper manners. But you may take your time finishing the tea and treats, but once you have finished with those, please do exit my hall. Good luck to you all. And turns and abruptly leaves.
Well, it seems we may have overstayed our welcome just a tad.
Apparently so.
Perhaps.
Well, I suppose there's no need to linger. I will see you all in 2 weeks' time, though I do hope to see you earlier at church on Sunday. And Alehi's eyes linger on Desdemona as he says that.
Of course. And her eyes, her gaze is averted.
Right, of course, the pillar of any good upstanding society. Church is so important. We will see you there, I'm sure.
Oh, right.
Oh, and if I forgot to mention this earlier, congratulations on your engagement. It's the talk of the town.
It
Dang.
was what my mother wanted.
My parents will be thrilled. We're thrilled.
They are elated. So are we.
Yes, thrilled. Ecstatic.
I think Ambrose definitely regards all of this with you are not especially I think to Vanessa, I think just you are not selling this. You are not selling this to anyone. I know it's just the four of us here. You are not selling it.
I think we're both so tired. It was a very long race. We will, of course, see each of you. I'm sure there are certain occasions that we will have to build excitement prior to the grand race. So we will see you there after we've rested and had time to, repair our vehicles and get new tires. Yes, wonderful. This is a wonderful Wonderful meeting you all. We should be off. Right, beloved?
Right. If you need solutions in removing blood from your vehicles, I can provide it.
That's so thoughtful.
Right. I shall see you all.
And with that, we leave the Godfrey estate. All right, folks. As you heard, you have 2 weeks prior to the grand race. So I guess the real question here is, what is everybody doing in those 2 weeks? Actually, yeah. Anybody have anything that they know they immediately want to do? Otherwise, I'll just grab somebody and we'll start there.
It seems you're gonna have to call on someone.
Grab somebody.
My
I would just say
only
just do
answer was
habits.
not going to church on Sunday, but like, or going to a different church, like the church across the
different
street
church.
specifically.
Of course, the devil's spawn would not show up.
However, that's not really a scene.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. That's so funny. Actually, we can make that a scene. Hold on a second. Would you like to... I already have an idea. Would you like to, Gray, would you like to do that?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So, here's kind of what I'm imagining here. So again, you are all in, there are a number of churches throughout your rather large town, in fact. It is... I would say it's a large town on the verge of becoming a small city at this point. So there are a number of churches. And it is just a coincidence that God, I don't know what's the name of church. The Holy Tabernacle of Our Lord is right across from... Hey, Hamna, do you know what your church is named by any chance?
You would think that I would have come up with that, huh? It would be, I mean, Our Lady of Sorrow is like actually a real church, so I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. But
you know what?
that's
Let's
the
do it.
first
It's
name
fine.
That came to mind.
Okay. The Holy Tabernacle of Our Lord is right across from Our Lady of Sorrow. And while that might have been a coincidence, the rivalry that the two have is not. And so, on a fine Sunday, the Sunday immediately after this race, we'll say it's tomorrow, in fact. The races take place on Saturday, so the next day, Hamna, well, do you imagine your character being like one of the ones that are like outside greeting people as they're coming in? Or...
Yeah, so as a deacon, Elahe is basically in that transitory phase in learning how to be a priest and in sort of moving up in the upper echelons of the clergy itself. This is a very vital phase of his career. This is kind of going to make or break whether or not he really has one in this line of work. And so, kind of like the intern of the church, he gets kind of saddled with all of these like little tasks, and I think one of them is to be the greeter at the door of the church. And so every time people come in, Elahi's face is kind of like the familiar one that people are used to seeing. His voice, the familiar warmth that rings through the halls as you enter this place of worship.
Well then, excellent. You are in the exact position, as people are kind of coming in, greeting them, to see across the way, Ambrose entering that church instead.
I'm sure that, like, there has to be some denominational rivalry between these two churches 100%. As well. Like,
an
like
undisclosed different denomination for the both.
Yeah, there's some heresy. They think you're heretical. You think they're heretical. It's... who knows?
It was really just a small disagreement over the interpretation of a single phrase in a single passage somewhere.
Of course.
It's very petty.
Of course.
Churches have been split for less.
Yeah, and I think Ambrose like walks across to the like the entrance of the other church, the Holy Tabernacle, catches your eye, I think, Just across the way, you probably have people kind of coming to shake your hand, greeting, and they catch your eye, and just sort of slip into the entrance of the Holy Tabernacle.
I think Elahe is, like you said, shaking the hand of like a regular, somebody in town who comes all the time and is smiling and nodding, but his eyes kind of go past this person, like over their head, and make eye contact with you. And in the way that only a highly religious person can give you the stank eye, I feel like you get, and it's so clear. Elahi's eyes are small and beady, but I think you get the message so loud and clear as you are entering the other church across the road. You know very clearly that Elahi does not approve of, well, quite frankly, any of your behavior, but that's more of a personal problem.
Look, you can't get mad at me for not going to church.
I suppose not, though the Holy Tabernacle is really only a church by technicality. I would not count that as attending church, so to speak.
Technicalities are much the way the world goes round.
I suppose that is something between you and the Lord. And like, this is a conversation we're having with our eyes.
Oh,
like, it's not,
yeah.
we're not saying any of this is like
Yeah,
purely
yeah.
eye communication at this point.
No.
Can I make the scene worse?
Hell
Yes.
I'm scared.
I think your stare down conversation is interrupted because Desdemona does show up to church, and she is suddenly in front of you, and she looks excited to see you. Everybody else around you does not look excited to see Desdemona here.
I think it's even that, like, Elahe's eyes have been so focused on Ambrose, during this whole time, and it's more kind of like routine, just like, shepherding people into the church, shaking their hands, smiling. And I think it's by the familiar feeling of your hand on Elahe's that his eyes break from Ambrose and look to you. How tall are you? Are you like taller, shorter? Where am I looking?
She's quite tall.
Okay, I think
lanky.
then it is that familiar feeling of your hand in his that causes his eyes to snap up towards you and into your own. And there is a pause for a moment, and only a moment, that if you were paying particular attention, you would notice. Desdemona, I
Nothing.
wasn't expecting to see you here, though. It is a welcome surprise, of course.
Did I not say I would come?
Is Vanessa not with you?
Is she?
Vanessa is not with you.
No. She has matters to attend to, so I'm here by myself. Should you have any duties that you need assistance with, I will stay past the duration of service.
The church can always use volunteers.
Of course. If you need any help cleaning, I have developed a brand new solution.
Perhaps.
Is this the same solution for the blood?
It's
it just
only
one
mildly
solution?
corrosive for organic matter.
Perhaps not. And I think Elahi notices like the uncomfortable looks of everyone else like around at Desdemona's presence, and especially at you kind of talking about your science, I suppose. That Elahi kind of goes, maybe not here and right now, but thank you. Why don't you take a seat somewhere in the front pews today?
Oh, in the front. Yes, I will do that. And she doesn't let go of your hand, realizes she's still holding your hand. He goes, right. Quickly heads inside.
And, you know, I think at Our Lady of Sorrows, the sermon today is about denying yourself earthly wants for heavenly, for the heavenly rewards.
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
And
Not this.
fidelity, clearly.
Okay.
It is a little blatant.
A little bit of talk of faithfulness to those you've committed to the faith that you have, to your family, as well as, you know, anything that falls into denying your wants to make sure you are in line with the eyes of God. On the other side of this, at the Tabernacle of Our Holy Father, it is a conversation of humbling yourself before the Lord, not demanding more than the Lord has put before you, and accepting the blessings that life gives along with the sorrows.
Equally pointed.
Ambrose nods along, thinks in their head, but I'm built different. And clearly is maybe has like a little notebook and appears to be like writing notes in the sermon. It's sketches for modifications to the car.
Ambrose's attitude is like that one tweet that was like, "R.I.P. to everyone killed by the gods for their hubris, but I'm different.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
better.
exactly.
I'm even better than the gods." That's Ambrose.
No, exactly. Oh, I love that. So here's an important question, folks. For those of you that are at church right now, does anything else happen when church is over? For those of you at our the Tabernacle of Our Holy Father, or Our Lady of Sorrows?
No, I have a desire for me that my character would not do. So.
Okay, I want you to keep that desire in your head, and when this game's over, I want you to tell us what it is, because I'm deeply curious.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well then.
I do think Desdemona would actually stay afterwards, and if there is anything that Aliha needs after church, would be there to do it.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, it's a dual layered statement, right? That the church always needs volunteers. I mean, on the one hand, it's true, like they always need volunteers, so there is always work to be done, little menial tasks that anybody in the parish is able to participate in. And the second thing is, well, they want you around, and he will come up with any excuse to keep Desdemona present for as long as she will stay.
No. Added benefit of nobody else will want to be there while Desdemona's in the building.
Yeah.
No, in fact, that is actually very factually true. As typically what would happen here is people would kind of linger. This is you know, religion has had a place in being like a community gathering hub, but with clearly Desdemona lingering around, people are like, yes, we should have tea, we should talk more. Oh, how about we retire to to a parlor or something? Like, people are leaving, like certain church officials are going. I think your direct superior says, do keep an eye on Desdemona, if he will be staying to aid and volunteer. Of course, the Lord and this church welcomes all that wish to give their time, but I would not like to return to anything blown up. Or
Of course.
anything
Of course.
hex.
Untoward. No.
Yes, untoward. Exactly. And like kind of gives you a look, was very clearly like, don't let Desdemona do any witchcraft in the house of the Lord. And very
Don't worry,
shortly
I got it. I got it.
very shortly after that, it is truly just the two of you in this rather large church.
Yeah. I think as Elahe is kind of directing Desdemona to like clean up and like maybe put some stuff away and whatever, he steals glances towards him and will kind of say, "So Vanessa seems like a good match for you. Are
Does
you
she?
happy?"
You and my mother share that opinion.
Well, I mean, she comes from a good family, and I mean, I know that they've recently lost much of their fortune, but tragedy and misfortune befall us all, and I'm sure that will change soon.
Oh, you think she is favored to win the race as well?
No one else has trained quite as hard as Vanessa for this, I think.
Mm. Right. Why do you think I'm participating in this race?
I assumed because your betrothed is.
Would it not make sense for me to sit on the sidelines?
Twice the opportunity to bring each other up, I suppose. Probability, right?
Well, I don't need to be here. My late father's fortune will be mine if my mother is pleased. As it isn't currently, as my mother is not quite yet pleased until this marriage is officiated. But I don't need to be in this race, Alihe. I'm
And
here for a reason.
Elahe kind of saddles up next to Desdemona as the two of them are maybe cleaning some of the benches, and their hands are just next to each other, not touching. There is maybe an inch between their fingers, keeping them apart. And not looking at Desdemona, looking down at the grain of the wood beneath them. And are you pleased with this match?
Mother doesn't understand. My feelings are not alchemy. There is no equivalent exchange for love.
And Elahe's breath catches in his throat at that, and he clears his throat, trying to push whatever it is, that feeling that has bubbled up, down, and says, "I had always wondered."
Well, wonder no longer. I believe my mother could see you for who you are. Your passion and your dedication to the Lord is not dissimilar to mine to science. And
The choice before me is not of. Well, it is partially that, but in order to have that which the heart wants, I would need to abandon everything. I would be disgraced. A pariah.
not if you were untouchable.
And at that, Elahe slides the hand that has like the cleaning cloth in it over towards Desdemona, and their pinkies touch ever so slightly.
And Desdemona's pinky curls slightly. And she says, "Do not count on me winning this race. That was never my intention."
would you help me win?
I would run over anyone in your way.
And Elahe takes his hand back and I think moves to continue to finish cleaning the church, not saying another word.
So does Desdemona.
Wow. Hey Gray, is anything happening after church for you at all?
I don't think so. I think it would be slipping, like just leaving. I think they made their point to Elahe.
Can I ask a question to you, Gray?
Yeah.
Did Ambrose notice that Desdemona came to church and Vanessa didn't, and that whole thing that happened outside?
Honestly, you know what? I think they probably would have noticed. At least, they were kind of staring directly at you. So I think they probably would have noticed that. At least Desdemona. I don't know if they're maybe Vanessa came later. Who knows? But definitely
Whoops.
would have noticed that Desdemona came alone.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just whoever has information to do what they will.
Well, I think I'm gonna Angie, hey. What's going on with you in this it can either be this Sunday or any other time during the 2 weeks.
No, I think there was a reason why she didn't go to church, and it's because as she said in the parlor, religion is the cornerstone of a good society. Live in a good society, which means most people are at church. That does not mean that Vanessa went to church. Vanessa took the opportunity to, she did already need new beeswax to polish part of her vehicle, and she knows a very talented apiarist in town. Miss Abigail Carruthers is a very accomplished apiarist. And so she decided to run some errands Sunday morning while most of the ton was occupied being good pillars of society. Because the thing that being in a disgraced family means, with little means or income, is people already expect you to be up to less than you should. So she's decided to run some errands, with her last stop being at the apiarist. Some honey and some beeswax and some conversation.
Of course. So you stop at Abigail's apiary. Actually kind of on the sign with I kind of imagine that the sign itself, not really relevant, but the sign itself is kind of a cutout of Abigail with it in and holding up a little honeycomb or something or whatnot.
A honeycomb with the little brush.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. It's very pretty. It's very nice. And so you enter into this shop, which the shop, there's the storefront and then kind of the back. This is more of a, on the edges of town, because in the back there's actually a wider area for some of the bees and whatnot and some of the production. Abigail's actual home, which is not particularly large, but there is a more space to have the bees and the damn, what are those things called? The actual boxes you keep the bees in and stuff. I can't think of the
bee
name.
boxes. Yeah,
the bee boxes. But there are some that are here and whatnot. And so you kind of walk in and you hear kind of from the back, just a minute.
Yes. Take your time.
There is a crash, something dropped and shouted, oh, and then Abigail comes rushing out. Vanessa, oh, it's so good. And it's like looking around, like looking out the windows, which is the very wide open windows. You're able to see into the front room of this place very easily. And it's like peering out of these windows to see if anybody's on the street before coming closer to you and grabbing your hands. I dropped a jar of beeswax. I was so excited to hear your voice. Hi,
Oh.
hello, darling. And
Hi.
is like, one is grabbing both your hands at this point in hers and just kind of gently and slowly like rubbing them.
Yes, it's so good to see you. Had a very hard race, and so I'm glad to be in your company once more. Uh, I placed an order a few days ago, and I figured that I would stop by and say hello.
Yes, of course. Come, my dear. And something which something you know about Abigail does have like very happy and joyful and excitable for all of her customers, but does have some of her favorites, and is always very like affectionate with them, even while keeping an eye so that there's no untoward rumors, of course. But
Of course.
does have her favorites, and you are amongst them. Yes, I do have the beeswax that you ordered. Now, I have been experimenting a little bit with it, so the smell is a little bit, it's got hints of grapefruit. I do have a normal one as well.
Oh,
But
that's lovely.
yes, I thought, well, perhaps a little bit more nice smelling beeswax would sell a little bit well. So I'm just offering no extra charge if you'd like that one instead of the standard one. But I also have the regular one. I can go grab it for you to take a smell of if you.
Yes, that would be wonderful. I would take I'd love to.
Excellent. And like rushes to the back and comes back shortly thereafter and opens it. It smells more like grapefruit than beeswax, right? The like kind
Oh,
of
cool.
harsh scent you're used to, if I'm remembering what beeswax smells like, is replaced with this kind of like soft aromatic smell of like a fresh cut grapefruit.
Yeah, so she takes it, she takes it off, she fans it towards herself, and like she sets a hand on Abigail's shoulder, and she's like, "This is wonderful. You are so, you're so creative, you're so intelligent. This is gonna sell so well." And then she like kind of removes her hand, screws it back shut, and like sets it down on the counter. I'll definitely take at least four of those. But how are you? Are you well?
Yes, I'm doing very well. It's the season for the grand race, so lots of people are buying the beeswax for various reasons. So those are selling very well. I'm very like kind of leans in. I'm very glad that you were okay. I was at the race. Wanted to make sure. It's not truly my something I find great pleasure in, but I wanted to see you and make sure you were.
You didn't get hit by the arm, right? You're fine?
No,
I heard that one went flying into the audience, and dear, such a fright.
it was a bit dreadful. It was. I don't know if after. If you're not in a race, I don't know if I will ever return to another one. But
Thank you.
I was not hit by it. And
Good. I know your constitution is so delicate, and so I just worry when you're in those sorts of races.
but I was fine, and as I said, it was good to see you come in safely, and your betrothed, of course, Desdemona. Happy to see that he is
Yes,
well as well.
he did quite well during the race, yes, and we're elated and thrilled to be competing again together in 2 weeks. But you know, I I was a little upset that you didn't come to the betrothal party. I did send you an invitation in the mail, and I was sad to not have seen your presence there.
I and kind of uh looks away from you and blushes a little bit. My deepest apologies. I had come down with something, and I did not wish to cause anyone else to fall ill.
Right.
and is like kind of
Um.
currently playing with like the hey folks, I forgot to tell you what Abigail looks like. So Abigail is kind of a white skin, not on the like, not more like olive skin toned. Has a very like thick brown eyebrows, long hair that she keeps kind of like pulled up and in like a bun in the back with like the bangs down, but also likes to wear a like a very tight bonnet and the straps underneath, and is currently playing with those right now. Is typically found in her favorite color, which is any shade of purple, truly. And has a like golden necklace with like honeycombs patterns at the end, and has gone from like playing with the straps on the bonnet to fidgeting with the honeycomb itself.
Mhm. So I think Vanessa takes a step further and is like, "Oh, this is all just a little bit misadjusted," and she like kind of very delicately like straightens out the golden necklace and like centers it again, and is like, I'm terribly sorry to know that you felt ill, but know that your presence was missed, and that I I always feel at ease with you." You
Again,
certainly lift my spirits.
again, is blushing, and I, 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 of course, like I can say the exact same, the exact thing to you as well. I just simply hearing your voice caused me so much joy. I shattered a jar of beeswax, and of course I will venture to be there for the wedding. And
Do you need help cleaning it up? The jar in the back?
yes, actually, that would be particularly helpful. Let me just, and kind of goes over to the door and turns to the like the kind of sign and locks it and the sign to like,
It says "be back soon"
yeah,
with two
yeah,
E's.
exactly.
Yes.
And I would hope, were you to win, you would, and were you to win and would have no longer a need for the beeswax, you would still stop by sometime.
Oh, I'll continue to keep driving, and when when I win, I
When you win.
quite a few things will change. I think it'll be very momentous. So, um, and I think I'll be buying quite a bit more honey and honeycomb, something sweet.
Begins walking to the back room where the
Hmm.
jar was shattered.
Hmm.
So like the door to the back room is typically like open, because it's easier for her to like kind of go in and back and forth very easily for like, because the front does have some counters and whatnot for wares, but is very is well liked amongst the gentry and whatnot, and so does kind of run out of things and has to frequently go to the back. But they yes, I have more cases, but walks to the back, and as you kind of come in as well, closes the door.
Hmm.
I do.
I
Yeah.
I have a offer, um,
Hmm.
which is I would like to offer a negotiation for a use of one of my resolve tokens, which is
Yes.
that as Abigail turns the sign to closed and walks away, I think maybe Abigail doesn't notice, but we as the audience can kind of see like maybe like slightly across the street or something. And I will leave it up to you, Angie, to decide which of the two, but my proposal to you is to use the resolve token to place either Colonel Edwin St. Pierre or Imara Enigmas as a
Ooh.
witness to these events.
I think I'd be down for the Colonel um to see this happening for sure, to see the sign be flipped over.
In which case, I give you a resolve token and place Colonel Edwin St. Pierre across the street witnessing from through the shop window this interaction go down.
Absolutely. 100%.
Oh my. Okay, so y'all, the sign gets turned, you head to the back, panning away.
Hmm.
Oh my, the audience sees. Um, does he I don't imagine does he wear his uniform out in public all the time? Do you think?
I think that he would be this weekend because
Gotcha.
there was like grand race stuff going on, so he probably wore it to church.
Excellent. Oh,
Um,
yes. Would have went to church as well. All right. Very well. Across the street, I think coming out of, oh, I don't know, one of the tailoring shops, possibly checking in on like something for the uniform or something or other, we see, let's see, Colonel Edwin St. Pierre. This is an older gentleman with kind of light, like, or medium warm brown skin. The once dark brown hair is graying, and it's more the gray than the brown at this point, and kind of dulling that out. Is in an immaculate uniform. It is mostly red with kind of yellow lining, with the white sash across, with, of course, the variety of medals and ranks. Not as many as was seen on Major Godfrey, but still a respectable amount. And he watches as the two of you walk into the back room and the door is closed.
oh, I think yeah. So like to wrap that scene up, I think that she does help. I think that she maybe steals a kiss, and then I think just a kiss on the cheek, a little kiss on the cheek, and it's just like I mean what I say. That a momentous occasion when I win. Um, we'll see how those wedding plans turn out. Um, I think she leaves it at that.
I think as you say that, uh, Abigail's eyes just kind of connect with yours for a moment, and a little bit longer than is proper before blushing and nodding. Thank you for the help with the glass.
Of course. Whenever you need something off a high shelf, I'm always around.
And I think at that point, like, there's a knocking on the door. Hello, hello. I'm here to pick up my honey.
Doubles, like doubles. Puts it down on the table.
Oh man, that is beautiful. Okay, all right, folks. Gray, I'm gonna cut back over to you.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on with you in these 2 weeks? Anywhere you want to stop in at?
I feel like, and the thing is, I don't know how close that Ambrose is to the sort of like Saint Pierre family. But I feel like that's something that they would like to do, kind of like set their stakes and their deal with this as the race is coming up.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, we will cut to you at the front door of the St. Pierre's home. It is despite the family falling on bad fortune prior, you had a decent sized home. You still have that at this point. Of course, it has not been taken from you. And repairs are kept up, even if just for appearances. Your father is frequently out doing them himself if necessary. Typically at times where people won't see him doing it, but is still doing it and will get money in various ways of which he does not disclose to you at this point, or anyone else in the family truly is keeping this tight to himself to sometimes pay people when would be impossible for him to do it privately. But it is a well-kept and sizable home. It Angie, what kind of color scheme do you think would be going on with this home on the inside and the out?
On the inside, I think it's very like I want to say like a little bit of like a press, so it's like a very like harsh color, like a dark like rust orange. Like I think like it's very like hard sharp angles. Um like I think that the furniture is like fairly austere. Dark wood. Um like I think that there are busts of older busts of older members of the family in marble, kind of like it built into alcoves, and I think that dark hardwood floors. The plaster is, you can see like just on like the highest points, like some of the plaster is chipping a little bit, just because it's something that is like really a pain in the ass to keep fixing over and over again. So that's like, if there is disrepair, that's where you can see it, as kind of like in the corners of the ceilings in each room. I think the dining room and the parlor room are probably as like is like the nicest parts of the house. But like once you get up the stairs, like the bedrooms on the second floor, you can start to see more of like there's like dust collecting on stuff because they can't afford to keep staff. There's like the carpets are a little bit like worn because they haven't replaced them or get them cleaned regularly. So that's kind of like the vibe of the house. But they are trying to, especially Vanessa's father is very like very much about appearances. Like he is always immaculately dressed. Even if he has to like do like, and Vanessa does a lot of like the needlework and that sort of stuff. It's like the one thing that she tolerates doing in the house, because she knows that it would make her father happy, to keep up appearances. So like all of the embroidery is well done, but it is like it's her stitching, which is like very workmanlike, and not like there's not like a lot of flourishes and embellishments, but it is like neat embroidery if you see it on like fabrics and like pillowcases and stuff like that.
Excellent. I love that. And Ambrose, I think you knock on the door. Angie, who answers this door? Is it you? Is it a sibling? Is it your father? I doubt it's your father, but could be.
No. I think it's normally like there's probably like two or three other siblings that like run around that are like maybe in their like haven't yet come into the season, like haven't come of age yet. So like 13, 14, like that age where it's like you can justify them coming and opening the door in a panic is just like children being children, so they are normally around and opening up doors.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, we'll just give one of them a name. The door swings open, and you see, um, certainly not
Maybe
anybody.
Jacqueline?
Say that again.
Yeah. Jacqueline, maybe?
Oh, I like Jacqueline. You see, Jacqueline St. Pierre. Certainly, no one that you're actually related to, of course. Ambrose, who is like a fresh 13, is looking up at you. Hi, I don't believe anyone was expecting visitors. I'm kind of.
Oh, my apologies. I thought I would drop in. I'm racing with Vanessa.
Oh.
And just
Right! Right! Of course. Sorry, I would have recognized you, but Vanessa and father don't actually allow me to be at the races. So I was unaware that was you. Hello. Hi. Please, come in.
hi. Of course. Kind of. I think this is probably like a place that they would remember from their childhood, like a little bit, like, right? Like came over, like, some sort of like, you know, even just the outside. And, but so I think like it's something that was like very built up and grand in their head. But now is like, kind of seeing that reality of it is very like, oh, you know. the when the dream and the reality sort of clash as they sort of step in and probably walk to the parlor, following Jacqueline.
But yes, Jacqueline kind of leads you in to the parlor. I will let Father or who are you calling upon today? Father.
Your
or-
father.
Yes, well then I shall let
Yes.
Father know that you're here, and prepare some tea, and kind of goes running very like starts to run and then like slows down and like straightens up and like walks and heads up the stairs. And you can kind of hear trying to be quiet, but has not quite perfected that. Father, yes, oh no, and then kind of you hear coming rushing down the stairs. I am so sorry. I did not get your name.
Ambrose Hollins.
Yes, does run back up the stairs. Father, and Ambrose Hollins has called upon you. One of the racers with sister. Yes. Yes. I'll go get the tea ready. And you can hear like muffled from Edwin, but again, Jacqueline it's not quite perfected the quietness on this part, so it comes back down and pops ahead. And my father will be down shortly, and the tea shall be ready shortly as well. And disappears into the kitchen. About 5 or so minutes goes by, and then and Colonel Edwin St. Pierre steps in to the parlor.
I think this is something where you kind of immediately notice like Ambrose sort of shift a little to like look like they're wanting to impress him, like straightening up, kind of knowing the military, inclines their head, and greets the colonel, very, very, very politely. I apologize for dropping in without an invitation. I was in the area and, well, I thought that with the race coming up, we perhaps should talk.
I see that. And kind of trails. It was very clearly about to say something a bit scathing, and then lets it go. Yes, let us talk.
I don't know if you heard the news of my mother, but she has passed, and I've returned to town.
I think immediately as you say that, kind of was watching you, but you can just see like in the split there is like a very visceral reaction to this before he composes himself. I had not been made aware of that. I am deeply sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Well, supposed you should hear the news, and I know... Well, I am now alone in this world, and I had thought perhaps we could come to some sort of agreement.
Kind of holds up a hand for a moment. Jacqueline, if you are standing around the corner listening, there will be consequences. And Jacqueline kind of comes like, Father, I was not standing around the corner listening. I was simply balancing the tray. Set it down. Of course. Sets it down, 2 cups in front, pours some for both of you. There's also some cookies as well. And then kind of steps back. Father takes a sip. Good job. Jacqueline just kind of beams and like turns and leaves. And Jacqueline, simply straightening myself out, Father. Like right around the corner. Up the stairs. Very well. You can hear him going up the stairs. An understanding, you say?
Well, my mother and I were quite successful abroad. And I see you have, well, and the rumors that you have fallen upon more difficult times.
Face immediately hardens as you acknowledge, as you say this. I was willing to let the lack of manners in appearing at my doorstep without any forewarning go, but it is clear that while you were abroad with your mother, you were not taught any manners to acknowledge such slanderous lies.
My apologies. I only wished to offer my assistance and my place should I win the race. Surely it's better to hedge two bets.
You can see on his face this internal battle of the anger at both rude behaviors in his eyes and acknowledging that what you say is a tactical and smart decision. So the pride in him and the military might in him waging war in this moment. He takes a sip of the tea. He'll stand up with the saucer and the cup and walk over to the window so that his back is towards you as he's drinking, and he stays like that for a few minutes.
Oh.
Angie?
I think Angie has a bitch.
Ooh!
And I would like to, if I want to create, contribute, or change narrative events, could I use my resolve token? I want to know, like, basically, I'm trying to see whether he is the reason why the family is in ruin. Like Edwin, if it was his decisions, and perhaps even sending Ambrose and their mother away is part of the reason, like, the fall of our house. I'm trying to see something.
Okay, so are you wanting in this scene for, like, it to be explicitly stated, or are we talking about, like, hearing his inner monologue right now?
I do also have monologue tokens, don't I? I didn't know if I could play those on connections.
I don't think you need to inner monologue tokens are for major characters, but if it's a question of, hey, can we hear the inside of what he's thinking, I'm happy to say yes to that 100%. If it's a question, if it's versus want him to explicitly state, like, in his response to Ambrose, on whether or not he was the reason they're like that.
So yeah, if you want your major character connection to do or know something difficult or unlikely, I'm spending my resolve token to do that.
I accept happily. I will take that resolve token because I get them too. All right, come on, turn on. There we go. Okay. Again, a few minutes goes by, finishes the tea. Kind of turns back around and sits down. I'm a proud man, and I've always been one. Your mother would say that is something she loved about me. I am doubtful it is something she loved about me in the end. That pride makes it hard for me to accept your understanding, but I am able to recognize where my pride has harmed my family. And kind of gestures. They're not slanderous lies, as of course you know. And this is all my doing. My pride. I am the reason for all that has befallen my family, and for what, in the beginning, befell you and your mother. And, like, has his hands, like, on the table out in front of him, and is kind of, like, kind of cracking, like, playing with each finger, cracking the knuckles. Is very, like, clearly tense about this, and a little bit, if it were not for my pride leading to such poor financial decisions, Vanessa would need not be engaged at this moment. I shall accept this understanding, but you must also understand the acknowledgement of our connection and my acclamation to that being publicly known will take time.
Of course. I had not expected this to be an easy or quick decision for you to make.
Perhaps I would have thought on it further if we were not in such dire straits with dire on the horizon. I will say that this is all contingent on you winning. And I will not tell any of my children of the connection. Now, if you wish to speak with Vanessa, she is grown. She will soon no longer be of my household, but the others, not a word.
Of course.
And kind of straightens out. He was wearing, even Edwin's casual clothing still try to put off an air of, we're fine, we're well respected, we're well off. Now, I was in the middle of something, so I must return to that.
Yes, I would not like to keep you further. Thank you.
And he gets up and leaves. Do you leave immediately after that? If you have not finished your tea, and it's polite for you to. It is fine for you to stay and finish that before leaving, but
Yeah. They would sort of finish the tea. I can only imagine Jacqueline was waiting at the edge of the farthest edge that her father would not get upset at her about trying to.
no, very much was. And in fact,
The Scooby-Doo stack in front of the door, like
mhm.
all of the other siblings.
Timed very well. Once you finish your tea and you're about to leave, Jacqueline comes. It was a pleasure having you here in the St. Pierre home.
Thank you.
And good luck on the race.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'm glad.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Might I lead you out?
Sure.
I hope that the conversation you had with my father was fruitful. And you can hear it in her voice. Is very much hoping you'll like share a little bit of something about it.
Yeah, it went Much better than I expected.
Excellent.
And yes.
Opens the door for you and very like polite and prim and proper motions. Again, thank you for calling upon us and your father.
And yes, thank you for being such lovely hosts.
Of course. And with that, let's see. Hamna, Gwen, either one of y'all got like what's going like one of y'all got something you want to dive into for these 2 weeks?
Desmona needs to confront her mother at some point.
Okay, yeah, no, let's do it. Let's do it. Ugh. Okay. Tell me what your house looks like. What's going on with your home since you've got this witchcraft going on? I'm sure it's integrated into the house.
I am.
It just doesn't, it's just a bad look. It's just very dark wood. It's a new home because the money's new, so the house was built recently, and so it came up out of nowhere. But it is very almost dark academia a bit, and it really doesn't help with the public image. It's just the aesthetic that her parents enjoyed when the house was being built. So it is unnecessarily large. It is an investment for the future, even though the family is teetering on the edge of almost immediately burning at the end of the wick. And I think Desdemona is walking out of the family laboratory, as she has been working on upgrades to her vehicle, to perhaps surprise competitors, and get an edge over some other people in the race. So she comes out, she has these long welding gloves on, she has these goggles that she's put up over her forehead, she has soot and grease on her clothes, but she has stopped her work because she knows that her mother is home.
Yes, your mother has returned home at this point, followed by a number of your servants, has apparently been out shopping far and wide in town. Brings back a whole like basket full of jars and jars of honey. Is one of Abigail's like biggest clients. Truly loves honey in everything. Has a bit of a legendary sweet tooth at this point. But yes, Amara walks in. You see a beautiful elderly woman with this beautiful dark brown skin, more white, mostly white hair with little bits of like gray and black in there, but not by a lot. Very somewhat thin and finely like shapened eyebrows, dark brown eyes that like when they look at you, it's almost as if they're doing a very calculated measurement of who you are as a person, everything about you, and just the briefest of sweeps. Is wearing has got a matching necklace and earring set. It is, the necklace itself is kind of gold rimmed with yellow, blue, and like brown beads that lead to the gemstone in the middle. This kind of golden amber gem, and the same kind of color schemes with the gold rim, the blue, the amber, the golden amber, and the like kind of browns in the ears as well. Oh, darling, it's great to see you home. Yes, yes, you know where to put all of those things. The servants who are like kind of piling in. And first off, you saw the first three, and then the door opens again, and there's three more that are like piling in with more things. Food, sweets, honey, like treats, the whole nine. When your mother goes shopping, she goes shopping.
Did you hire more servants just to carry more bags?
Oh, they're temporary. And they're from the shop, so they'll send them back with a good tip and it'll be fine.
Right. Actually, Mother, finances is precisely what I wanted to speak to you about.
Is that so? Well, you know I don't like to talk about finance without my and we'll and as soon as she says to, like, I think in every part of the house, like in every room, there's a little bell that can be rung for tea. It's like ding ding ding. So we shall wait until my tea is brought, and then we shall speak.
Right. You know, I could make a device that would brew tea instantly with just the movement of one mechanism. Never mind.
Yes, that would.
And this one will. She'll impatiently wait for tea to be brewed.
Yes, we'll say yes. That would be probably worthy of your pursuits, worthy of your intellect, of course. How are the wedding plans coming?
Oh, well, the wedding planners have been hired. They have opinions that I've listened to.
Oh, you've listened to them. Is that why, when I was informed of what the plans were, I was told that you are one of the most difficult individuals to work with?
It's not my fault to put tulips in everything. Don't last very long. They're quite expensive, and
we can afford it, and it's not about lasting very long. It's how it looks. Tulips are in season. They're in style. The queen herself has declared tulip the flower of the year.
They're also quite sick.
No one is going to be eating them, darling.
They don't have to be. Never. It's. I will try harder.
All right. If the toxicity is the problem, what if they were gilded tulips? What if we were to dip them in something? Silver, gold.
In, like, what? That feels like a waste of material.
You only, you only marry once. God help us. It is not a waste.
You can say that all you want, but you know it isn't true.
If it is a waste, it is a waste that we can afford. It is a waste that we can use. And surely we can donate the gold. We can melt it down afterwards, or what have you. We're having the tulips, and you simply now must choose what it will be dipped in. Or I can choose. I can inquire with Vanessa.
Yes, I'm sure she would have opinions. And I think Desmond just like nods politely as the tea is brought.
All right, let's take this up to my study. Like, goes up the stairs. Your mother, who also, is also scientifically inclined, although does, like, having made a bunch of money, has now kind of is enjoying the life that this money provides, and hasn't been doing as much work, but is still, does do things, does have passion projects, and you can see that kind of all in the house and whatnot, well, in the study, a rather large study, rather large study, with like drawing boards and prototypes all along like the walls and whatnot, and goes and the study even has its own like little sitting area as well. So sits down in her favorite chair and starts drinking. Yes, hibiscus. Truly amazing.
Now, right, we
Ooh,
Only
sorry,
have
one
to have
moment,
the
and
important-
like rings the thing once more. Servant comes running up. Yes, could you go and get the grapefruit honey? I think it would pair well with this tea, and bring up the entire teapot as well. Yes, thank you. Please continue.
Okay. Mother, is it accurate to say that you would have a high opinion of the winner of this race in
That is
about a week's
correct.
time?
That is very
Right.
correct, especially given the dangers that it poses and the the high caliber of the competition. It is an example of the person's mind when it comes to their vehicle and their abilities when it comes to actually using it.
Right. And what would your opinion be if the winner of this race would, well, not I, as you say, there is strong competition, but also not my betrothed? What becomes of our family names if neither of us win?
Oh, Lord. Well, it is more of a question what becomes of you. Um, my darling. And kind of like sets the tea down and kind of reaches over and like cuffs your face. You know that I love you deeply. You are my heart. But when I said that you would need to win this race to get back into my good graces, have access once again to the fortune, and also to your own fortune tied to yourself and not I meant it, and I stand firm on that. Now, of course, I will not allow you to be desolate. That would not do well, but you could very much not expect to be living in a manner of which you've become accustomed to. And yes.
Well, Mother, that is the thing, isn't it? The rumors surrounding our family are not positive, but you have been benefiting from them, haven't you? Because they keep prying eyes away so that people don't know that you actually haven't sold any of your inventions in the past decade, and you are riding our fortune off of the very lucky deposits of helium you found in the mines.
I haven't sold any of my inventions in the past decade because I simply wish not to. It is simply a pursuit of the mind. We have enough money, and there are a number of things, and kind of like sweeps her hand around, of things that I could begin to sell. Things that would surely do well. But why do things for commerce when I can simply do them for hobby?
Well, because it's your reputation, Mother. You haven't been honest about where our money's coming from.
And I suppose you
And
bring
you
yourself...
know that I'm... You know precisely what I'm going to say. I don't wish to say it, but I'm the only one who knows this information.
And yet, despite not wishing to say it, you shall say it. So, speak.
I'm asking you to regard the possibility that whoever wins this race be more worthy of our family name. And I will not be the winner of this race, Mother.
If the winner of this race is not yourself nor your betrothed, well, if you were to find yourself entangled with that winner, it would suffice my requirements. So very well. I will consider it.
Then know you are about to experience the marvels of my scientific discoveries.
It's at this point the honey and the full pot of tea gets brought in. Oh, thank you. Yes, delicious. And like literally, doesn't even need a spoon. Like opens the jar is open and just pours and pours and pours.
I will leave you to your indulgences, Mother.
You must try this grapefruit honey. Abigail has simply outdone herself.
You know what? That's all yours. Don't let me touch your stash. I will retrieve some from the shop if I must.
Truly exceptional. That woman has a way with bees.
Okay. Desdemona is satisfied and confident in her own abilities, so she's going back to the lab.
Oh, I love this. Hamna, what's going on with you in this 2 weeks? Where are we zooming in on with you?
I think Elahe has been embroiled in a battle of the mind and the heart for the past couple weeks, and it's really been weighing on him. And so I think we find him maybe a few nights before the race, and Elahe's family lives in a very small house just off of the river that runs through town. So there is a nice sort of view of the water, but it is a very modest living. Being of the church, the family doesn't have a ton of money the way that other people do, but they make do. They're a respectable family. And so I think there is a small little pier that comes off of the front of their property onto this river to allow them to fish and whatnot. And I think we find Elahe one night, sometime after dinner, a beautiful night full of stars and a full moon out, and he is sitting on this pier with his pants, breeches rolled up, feet, bare feet in the water, kind of splashing, leaning back, and he is sitting with his adoptive sibling, Perlita. And the two of them are just, I think, enjoying each other's company, and there is some comfortable silence between the two of them for a while, and eventually Elahe turns to them and says, "Little Pearl, have you ever been in love?"
Perlita, who is just kind of looking up at the sky, just sitting here with you, feet out as well. Perlita, who for the audience, also has like olive skin. It's kind of on the lighter side of that. Brown hair is parts of it kind of laid down, while the very obvious curl pattern is there. Has it up in a bun with still some of the curly parts out of it. Again, very well-shaped, full eyebrows, brown eyes so dark they're almost as dark as the night sky, with a little twinkle in it that just kind of gets, she sometimes calls her little stars, but it's just sitting there looking up. I think so.
Are you in love now? Or is this a past love that you remember?
The past one.
And Elahe kind of leans his hands back and allows his body to kind of fall back onto the pier, looking up at the stars. And as he's looking at these twinkling lights in the sky above, What would you do for that love? Or what would you have done when you were in the throes of it? When the passions gripped you so tightly that it felt like the very air within your lungs was rushing out.
Anything. I think about it now and I'd do anything.
Are you sure?
I've still been like looking up at the sky at this point, and then kind of turns and actually looks at you. I am. I think about Lorelai now and wonder where they would be, and know if there was even a moment where I got the chance to, where there were another chance, I would take it.
And Elahe turns his head to face Perlita's, looking into her eyes. You are such a dizzying person. There is so much ambition within you, and you have such a bright future, little Pearl. But you give all of that up for another chance with Laura.
How bright can a future really be without a guiding light, a northern star?
And Elahe's hands move over, and he holds his little sibling's hand in his softly. Well, surely you are my guiding star, so I don't think anyone else could be that for me, but...
Kind of grips your hand back and squeezes it very affectionately.
I suppose love is a difficult thing for our family. There's so much obligation. I mean, luckily you are freed from that obligation by the choices that you have made, the station you have put yourself in, and I am so glad for that, for your choice. Were it not so complicated for myself, but here we are.
Perlita's looking at you as you're saying this, and then kind of places the hand that's not touching you like gently on your cheek, and I think says, "Love complicates and uncomplicates everything." I don't think station should get in the way of, if you truly love something, if you truly love someone, no matter the consequences.
When did you get so wise at your young age?
Lots of reading.
Well, I suppose that was money well spent on your library then. Well, come on. It's getting late. We should turn in.
Just a moment longer. It's looking up at the stars.
And Elahe nods, turns his head back up to the sky, still holding his younger sibling's hand, and his feet splash very slowly in the water. And so all we hear is the crickets, maybe some frogs, and that slow splish-splashing of water in the river as the two siblings sit, enjoy each other's company, and the expanse of stars before them.
Beautiful. One final thing, folks. Vanessa.
Yes.
What's your room look like in your home?
I think that my room is kind of like a mishmash of every sort of like hobby and passion that she enjoys. So like she tries to keep it neat, but when she gets excited about something, it kind of blows up. So right now, because she's in the middle of like preparing for the race, there's like a steering wheel on one side and like two boilers that she's like working on like re-soldering on another side, and then like her bed is made. She has like some decorative pillows on it. Like that's like the only part of her room that is not like completely torn apart right this second. So it is not like fit for company per se, but there's like probably like one chair and her bed are like if someone like one of her siblings wanted to come in and like watch her work or whatever, there is like a place for them. But other than that, it's just like right now it's just trashed.
Okay. Okay, I love that. You do hear a knock on the door, which you immediately recognize as your father's knock. All of your father and your siblings all have very distinctive knocks.
Hmm.
Vanessa?
Yes, yes, one second, just 1 second. And she kind of like gets to a good stopping point on like the thing that she's working on, brushes herself off, sees that her hands are still covered with grease, and is just like, okay, well, it is what it is. And like just kind of like gets herself up and opens the door. Yes, yes.
Your father stands there in rather comfortable clothing, but does look a tense look on his face. Very clearly, a serious conversation needs to be had between the two of you. May I come in?
Yes, and just like kind of like kicks like a brake pedal to the side and opens the door a little further. It's like, yeah, of course. Sorry, it's a bit of a work in progress right now, but how you can have a seat. Um,
Your father takes a seat. I do not quite know how to broach the topic, so I shall be very blunt. I saw you at Abigail's apiary, and you should be quite lucky it was just I that saw you.
I was purchasing some beeswax, so I hope that anyone would be fine with me buying beeswax, Father.
Kind of just gives you a very, like, a bit of a withering look of, like,
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa. As much as it pains
Yes,
me
Father.
for this to be true, given where our family currently is, you do not have the luxury of... Given where our family currently is and given your precarious situation, you do not have the luxury of, shall we say, dalliances. Now I do not...
Father.
I holds up the hand of like, let me finish. Now, if you were to win, and the prestige was to fall upon your name, very like clearly is very much like struggling to have this conversation with you,
Mm-hmm.
then that is one matter. But were you not to win, were you to simply gain this prestige through marrying a winner, that is a completely different thing in and of itself. And you must keep that in mind as I did not foresee myself having this conversation with you. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you here?
Father, I understand. I have always, as long as I've been able, looked out for this family and supported this family and sacrificed parts of my own happiness and joy for this family.
His face falls when you say that. Continue.
I will, as I have always done, put the needs of my family first. I don't know what else I could possibly do to prove that to you. Will I ever do enough to show you that?
You. I believe your words, and I also know that sometimes the words that we say and what is in our hearts leads us astray. I know you do everything you can, and I am grateful and proud, and begins to say something and then stops.
Mm-hmm.
I will let you go back to your preparations, and kind of gets up, kisses you on the cheek, and leaves.
Mm-hmm. Father, 1 second. Please.
Turns around at the door.
I know that I'm not always the most subtle of your children. I'm occasionally graceless and perhaps not the best with tact or charm like some of my younger siblings, but know that I will always be dedicated to this family, and that when I win, and I am determined to win, that I will make sure that my family is
So essentially what happens here is we start with one player and then we kind of keep going around clockwise is what will happen. And you get to state a rumor and then another player can be like, hey, I'm going to solidify that, and it gets turned into a scandal. And then after everybody's gone around once, we start with the person who just went last and go back around. So everybody gets everybody gets a chance to do two things. And then after that, we'll have another phase to go into. But so if you're, so you can either create or solidify, which is spreading a rumor. And let's see. So you can only spread a rumor once. So for example, if I'm just sitting back and enjoying what y'all are about to get into. But if I start if I was the one who was to start a rumor saying, yes, Vanessa St. Pierre is actually the secret love child of, I don't know, the queen's second cousin 3 times removed, and then somebody else picked up that rumor and was like, oh, I'm gonna spread it, nobody else can do anything with that at that point. But so that's kind of how that works. And there is a way to like kind of solidify rumors into truths, but that does not happen during this phase, so we'll come back to that in a little bit. But to start us off, I'm gonna start with the top of my screen. Angie, you're up. So tell me, as a member of this very large town, almost a small city, what kind of rumors spread is going around?
I think that the pun is spreading a rumor that Our Lady of Sorrows Church is being corrupted by the Enigmas.
Oh dear heavens. Oh my. Okay. And since we're going clockwork, hey Gwen, are you spreading a rumor right now? Or are you creating one?
I think I'm creating one that can kind of go wherever, but I think some people in the town have caught on to Vanessa's little visits and have started to make some assumptions about her relationships.
Oh no.
It's been there a little too frequently.
Oh boy, I'm writing these down so that we can go back over them when the
Can't love bees that much.
How much honey do you really need?
Depends on your definition of honey, I guess.
Turning into Desdemona's mother.
Ooh.
Mara loves her honey.
Rumors about the relationship. Oh, this is juicy. All right. Okay. Gray?
I mean, I think I will this will be a unique rumor, but it'll be tweaking the first rumor, which is to say that Elahe is the one specifically letting them in.
Damn.
Look, you shake a witch's hand a little bit too long in front of everybody. What do you expect?
Oh
I'm
my
converting them to Christianity.
Is that what it's called?
Is that what we're calling it now?
Converting.
Wink, wink. Okay, Hamna, you're up.
I think I would like to create a new rumor that Ambrose Hollins was run out of the previous town that they were in, and that's why they're back.
Ooh.
I think there's like a lot of different variations of this. Like the reason why
Oh, sure.
is like,
Oh,
people
yeah.
disagree on like what they're speculating on, like why. Ambrose was run out, but I think the one like through line in this rumor is that people are like, oh, Ambrose is not back by choice, but back because they had to be.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, this is lovely. This is lovely. I love this. Okay, now that is all 4 of you. So we're going to restart this cycle, starting with Hamna. But beforehand, I'm going to read the rumors that we've already done in case anybody wants to spread them. Rumor 1, which came from Angie, Our Lady of Sorrows is being corrupted by the Enigmas. Rumor 2, from Gwen, people have caught on about Vanessa's visits to Abigail and are spreading rumors about the nature of their relationship. Rumor 3, from Gray, it... I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. Okay, rumor 3, it is Elahe who is letting the Enigmas corrupt the church specifically. And rumor 4, Ambrose was run out of the previous town, and that's why he's back now, not because of choice.
So for my turn, I would like to spread the rumor about Vanessa. That Vanessa has a paramour, extramarital, well, I guess they're not married yet, but, you know, extra engagement paramour that she has been seeing.
Okay, so that is being spread. All right. Okay, so we're going to give this a little purple dot to show that it has been spread in my notes. Ooh, scandalous.
I'm also going to spread the rumor about Ambrose being chased out of the last town.
Holy fuck. Okay. Damn. All right, Gray, you spreading or you creating?
Oh. I don't want to spread my own rumor, is the thing.
You could if you really
I mean, you
wanted
can.
to.
But, yeah, no, okay. I'll spread my own rumor.
Okay, and Angie, that leaves you. What are you doing?
I'm gonna create a new rumor. A
Yes.
conflicting rumor. I'm going to create a conflicting rumor that Ambrose is actually here, and is the long lost child of, let's see, a member major of the Ton. Not Edwin specifically, but is the child of a major member of the Ton.
Okay. Ooh, these are scandalous. These are sexy.
No. You see.
Okay, so we have 3 rumors spread. We have multiple rumors created. 3 of them spread. And Andy, you have created another one. So, when we get into the epistolatory phase, which is going to happen shortly, you can use your resolve tokens to actually solidify any of these rumors that you would like. And let's see. 1 second. All right. Okay. All right. So we have successfully completed the rumor and scandal phase. Some of these things have been actually spread about. So right now, like all of the rumors, like the rumors are there, but the 3 that were actually spread out are kind of predominant at this point. And we are actually going to go over into our epistolatory phase real quick. So folks, for those of you that don't realize what's going on with the grand race, it is an equal parts entertainment for the like upper echelons of society and a way for it to feel like, yes, we're bringing in new blood. We're allowing them a way to, upward mobility. We're better than the other places that don't do this. We're not like them. We don't truly like oppress our lower class individuals, of course. One of the things about rising into higher society in this way is having to outwardly leave behind the people that were around you. Now, of course, there have been people that have come up that have very publicly decided, no, I'm going to hold on to this. And they haven't lost their prestige or anything. They are in the lower end of the upper echelon, but they're still up there. There are people who were married or who had, engagements, and some people break them off, some people continue them. You can have varying social and economical consequences if you decide to go against it publicly. But of course, it's amongst the people that have moved up, it's a open secret that for the most part, a lot of people continue to support their loved ones and families who are no longer on the level with them, just in different ways, in ways that aren't as noticeable, in ways that can be explained away by other occurrences. And so what's about to happen right now is I'm going to give my players about 20 or so minutes to write letters to either of whatever you want to say to whoever you want to say it. If you were, so perhaps you would like to write a letter about, hey, I won, I have to leave you behind, kind of thing. Perhaps you're writing a letter of, oh, in case I don't make it out of here, kind of situation. Or perhaps you're writing a letter expressing your love and saying, I won the race and I'm taking you with me. Whatever you would want somebody to know after the race, in whatever situation you think you would be in or you're hoping to be in, that is what you're going to write about in this moment. So folks, players are about to do the epistolatory phase live on screen, and we'll check back in with them in a little bit. Dearest Desdemona, if I have won this race, then truly it is a wonderful day for both of us. I know that your heart lies with someone else. Lord alone knows who, as I try not to pry into your private matters. Even though we were betrothed, it is clear my heart lies with another, as the Ton has made it so evidently apparent. If I've won, that means that I have broken off our engagement and ascended into the upper echelon of the Ton with my beloved. And if you've won, well, I hardly would hold any of your actions against you. Even now, after it all, I bear no ill will or grudges against you. I hope that in time we can become good friends and perhaps even laugh about the overbearing nature of both our parents as we move together, in separate. I will always admire your intellect, your good graces, and your thoughtfulness, even if my heart was stolen from another long before we met that summer's day. Do you remember that dreadful heat while your mother and my father schemed? I certainly do. I remember sharing a look across the table from you, and I knew even then that though we weren't destined to be together, we shared one accord. True love cannot be bought and sold, and I am happy that, for better or worse, we will both have found our own happiest of endings. With admiration, Vanessa St. Pierre. My littlest Pearl, no matter what happens during this race, know that I have only your best interests at heart. I wish to see your enterprising, ambitious nature flourish and bring you all the happiness and joy that God will allow in this complicated world. In the event of my victory, unlikely as it may be, I promise you, my dearest younger sibling, that I shall carve out a space for you beside me. You'll have your pick of spouses, and your bright, bright mind will find money or status to be no obstacle to your endeavors. My victory is not my own, but yours, your eldest sibling, Alahe. Father, as I stated earlier, I have always wanted to take care of my family, from Jacqueline, Micah, and Jeanette, to the young, lovely, but frightfully insipid Helena, who you've chosen to spend the rest of your life with, and above all else, you. I hold you in high esteem. While a weaker man may have run away from his family or moved out of the city to have a more comfortable life that was more within his means, you chose to continue to soldier on in your way and keep us high in the eyes of the Ton. I will thank you for keeping me in the good graces of a good society. However, I must admit my dalliances, which were unfortunately made public at the cusp of my victory, may have caused further undue scandal on my good name. I will leave you with clear evidence in a letter that will hopefully ensure that my dearest siblings will be above reproach, free from scandal, and clear to pursue whatever loves and romances and hobbies they will most enjoy. I never got such a chance. I was bartered to the highest bidder. I don't deny that it was a sound decision, a smart one. There are only so many marble busts one may pawn before those around you catch wise. I still object to the nature of the wager you and Miss Amara Enigmas cooked up with no input from either me or my failed betrothed. For that, I'm not certain that I will ever forgive you. I will, of course, write home often and send care packages for the estate and for each of you, but I don't know how often I will visit. With all my love, your Vanessa. My dearest mother, I know this letter can never be properly addressed, never sent. I can only hope that wherever you are, you can read it still, or know what I am doing or have done. I can be more free in these letters, Mother, knowing that they will never be read nor found by those living. I met with my father and offered a choice. You know I have always loved the races, tuning the ingenious mechanics of vehicles to further my own ends, making them faster, more efficient, more resilient. I've done quite well in them. In fact, I'm in the finals of the grand race. I think I can win, Mother. I have a chance to do what you desperately tried to do. The St. Pierres have fallen in hard times, and through that my opportunity arose. If I shall win this grand race, he shall claim me as his own child. I know you wish nothing more than to be there by his side. I know you loved him still until your last breath, despite the pain that he had put you and us through. I will take care of them for you. I know it is what you wanted. I hope you are proud of me and what I have done. And if I do not survive the grand race, that I will be welcomed into your arms wherever you have gone. Your loving child, Ambrose. Mother, if you have found this, then I was not able to secure my love's victory. I cannot bear the enigma name if I am not bearing it with honesty. If you truly denounce me as your child, then you will bear this name alone. Perhaps not your child for much longer. Desdemona. Jacqueline, Sweetums, I love you so much. Here's the address to my estate. Please don't tell Daddy. Keep this between us. I can't wait to see you for high season. I will get your dresses in all your favorite colors. Also, I have made a small motor carriage that I think you will love terribly. All my love, your Vivi. My dearest Elahe, I know not the outcome of this race, though I have undoubtedly done my best to ensure you are the victor. It is my wish for my mother to see that you are far more than meets the eye and are the owner of my heart and desire. I cannot carry on with a wedding that I know both my betrothed and I would lament. Yes, I know that Vanessa loves another, as I love you. I confirm such suspicions when retrieving confections from my mother. Should our plan come to fruition, then all will be well. But if it does not, know that I am denouncing my family name and leaving my past in flames for you. I care not that my future prospects as a scientist would be forfeit. If anything, I am calling my mother's bluff. She is far too old for another child, and she will never marry again. I dare anyone to challenge the strength of our bond, even if we fall down the wayside of society. I only hope I survive the violent display to embrace you after you have received this message. May the light that guides shine on our union. Your love that burns an alchemical fire. Desdemona. My love, my honeyed queen, I will have a carriage waiting for you in 2 days hence. I can't wait to spend my life with you. Vanessa. Ill-fated of us all, the object of my affection, Desdemona. Not a day, nor a minute, nor a second has gone by that I do not regret breaking off our previous engagement. I allowed myself to be swayed by whispers in matters of faith. They said it would not do for a clergyman to be wed at all, let alone to a witch. I offer you my deepest and sincerest apologies for not being braver then, for not screaming above the whispers, for not facing God and defying his every word to say what I should have said a long time ago. I love you. I loved you then, and I love you still. It seems that I will love you always. This deep affection will not leave me, nor do I wish it to. Holding your hand again brought such warmth to my heart that I could scarcely believe I was not encased in ice this whole time. But thaw I have, and I will fight against this ill fate of yours to be with you. I will win this race and ask for your hand in marriage in front of all the gentry. I will forsake my faith if I must. If that is what it takes to rectify my mistake, I shan't err again. Wait for me. Your crescent moon, Elahe. Hello! I hope you have enjoyed the gut-wrenching, horrific, affectionate letters that my players have written for y'all. Letters, plural, for some of y'all. And listen, I need y'all to know, as like y'all were listening and this was happening for us live, they were like, hey, so I wrote 2 or I wrote 3, and I'm sitting over here like, the excitement, the joy. But no matter how many letters were written, they were all done so beautifully and well done. So thank you so much to all my players for that. And before we call an end to this epistolatory phase, I have a very important question for the 4 of you. Are you using any of your resolve tokens to solidify the rumors? So as a
Yeah.
reminder of what those rumors were, right? So, I say as a reminder, having closed the document that had that. So first rumor, which Angie did, which was not spread around, is Sorrow's. Wait, no, this is not the first rumor. This is. Wait, yes, it is. Sorry, first rumor that was not spread around. Sorrows is being corrupted by the Enigmas. Actually, I take that back. Since Gray's rumor was that that it's specifically LA that's letting it happen, the rumor about of the Enigmas corrupting it gets like looped into that as well. So the rumor that has been spread is Saros is being corrupted by the Enigmas, and somebody specific who is actually named in the rumor, is allowing them to do it. The next one, people have caught on about visits to Abigail, Vanessa's visits to Abigail, and are spreading rumors about the relationship. That has also been spread. This one has not been spread, but it is a rumor going about. Ambrose is the long-lost child of a major member of the Ton. Another rumor that has been spread is Ambrose was run out of the previous town, and that's why he's back, not by choice. So I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna start with Hamna and work backwards, and tell me if you're solidifying any rumors. You have, I think, yeah, however many resolve tokens you got left, I'll allow you to solidify a rumor with it. Hamna, you solidifying anything?
So I have one resolve token left, and I'm actually going to keep it and not solidify a rumor.
Okay, interesting choice. Gray, what about you?
I think I'm good with our solidified rumors as well.
Okay, so we have rumors that have been spread and whatnot, but we don't have any that have turned into truth.
Oh.
If you want to turn something into truth, sorry, let me correct that.
Oh, okay, then never mind. Yeah. I was
no, that's my bad.
Confused
Apologies.
there. Solidified.
Yeah. What do you want to make fact?
Yeah, I'll spend a resolve token to continue to fuck over Aleja in the church. I gotta be rivals. We gotta be rivals.
Okay, I'm marking this with blue. The rumor was spreading around, and now people take it for a fact. It is not just I heard a rumor. It's like, hey, did you know? Excellent. Any others that you would like to try and solidify? I know you might have at least one other token, I think.
I have one other token. I think I'm gonna keep that.
Okay, no worries.
In case.
Gwen, what about you?
I'm going to solidify the rumor that Vanessa and Abigail are in a secret relationship. Make that public knowledge.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
And right before the big race.
Yeah.
Oh my
I love it.
god. This is wild. And
So much for a secret love affair, am I right?
You let one colonel accidentally see you.
It wasn't even about the colonel. It's because you kept going there. You did this.
You gotta get the honey and the beeswax, man. Gotta get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But Angie,
I think I'm gonna keep mine.
You're gonna
I think I'm gonna
yours?
keep mine. Just in case.
Okay. Okay, all right. So, just to go over what we have, folks. So here are the facts, things that are factually true now. Or at least people treat them as facts. Let's say that as much. Our Lady of Sorrows is being corrupted by the Enigmas, and a certain deacon, is allowing it to happen. Specifically, I'm going to just throw this in here through the machinations of a certain Desdemona. Next up, the clandestine affair that is happening between Vanessa and Abigail is a matter of fact for the public at this point. That is why you have been going there so often for the beeswax and the honey. And finally, actually, those are the only two that have been solidified. So, just to let y'all know, folks, typically what happens, like, if you're playing a longer version of this game, after this kind of phase, if the other rumors haven't been, like, solidified, they fade out. But we're only doing a one-shot, so that's not going to be particularly relevant for this. However, but yes, we have our 2 solidified things, and at this point, we are putting, once again, the highway into Good Highway! It is time for the grand race! Now, you have all your now the grand race is held in a kind of, it's still within the city limits technically, but it's on the very, very outskirts. It's big enough to house pretty much the entire population of the people that like live here. About like 70% of people can actually be within the stands, and then others kind of gather around at like the kind of somewhat lattice like see-through gating that they have for people who like, you know, still want to watch but can't quite like fit in there, can't get in there, because obviously first come first served seats to the upper echelons, and then of course the families of the drivers and whatnot, and then anybody else who can get in there gets in there. So you have all you were there earlier than everybody else. You were expected to drive your cars out there, get them ready, and do any last minute things that you need to do. There are like kind of built in like garages for anything that you need to happen in there as well, so you have a little bit of time while everybody, you're supposed to be there like about 3 hours before everything gets started. It happens right as at noon. So at about 9 a.m., you all find yourselves in the garages with your cars. Anything any of y'all are saying to each other?
I don't think Elias says anything to the others, but he is paying particular attention to Ambrose's, like, if we can see them, or if we can, like, watch as people get ready.
Yeah.
Elias paying particular attention to Ambrose's vehicle to try and gauge, like, an early sense of, like, what kind of shenanigans are you trying to pull during this race? If there's any information I can glean.
Yeah, okay. So then I'm going to ask, okay. So first, let's see. I'm going to say that is an understanding roll for you. Ooh, you got a 5 in that. Damn. An understanding roll, and let's see. Not drive. I don't think you have a particular. Oh wait, understanding and notice, right? So, you're gonna do 5d6. You're gonna roll that, and you have 3 points to bump up a skill. Now, I am gonna ask Gray. Have you like? Is it particularly obvious what's going on with your car and whatnot, and what shenaniganry you might be having planned?
I think it's probably, like, the vibe that I get is that it's something that, like, there are certain things that you kind of can't hide on a car.
That's true.
But I think that Ambrose would be doing their best, like, they're pretty, you know, mechanic savvy. Maybe not as, you know, inventorly as Desdemona, but, you know their way around a garage. And I think would kind of try to keep things a little bit more, like, subtle or, like, hidden within, like, you know, the like, you know, just decorations kind of on the car. So I don't think it's like, you know, it's not like, here's everything that is on my vehicle.
So
but
Ambrose
also
is
not
not like a
everything is
showboat.
secret. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I will put the difficulty at arduous, which means you need 3 successes.
Unfortunate, because I have 2 successes. So
Oh, 2 successes.
I just, for those of you who are not familiar with like me and APs and tabletops in general, I have the worst dice luck in the world. So even though I rolled 5d6s, I will read out to you what my rolls actually were. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
That's
So-
impressive.
So
need
with my
to-
3 points to spend, I'm bumping that 5 to a 6 and that 4 to a 6, but that only gets me to 2 successes. So
Okay, then I think you notice like something that was okay. Ooh, Jesus. Am I gonna? Honestly, with that and given the nature of this, I think you're gonna notice like an obvious thing that anybody probably could have noticed with that.
Yeah, like probably like my wheel spikes. How are you hiding wheel spikes? You know, there are giant spikes on the wheels. You know,
Lahae's over here feeling so clever, like, yes, okay.
Yes, you
I've done it.
I cracked the code.
immediately
Avoid
recognize
the wheels of the car.
that. What about anybody else? Anybody else doing anything immediate, like talking to each other in this time frame?
I mean, I think Desmond would also be scheming. I think she would also be looking for specifically like technological weaknesses in other vehicles.
Like all of them, or are you looking at a specific person's car?
Vehicle.
Just all of them. She's trying to see what her vehicle would have an advantage over everybody else's.
Okay. So here's. Okay, we're gonna go understanding, and okay, so it's okay. I know the rules don't work like this, but we're gonna go understanding, and I will allow you to use notice and tech as you're trying to one, find these things, and two, understand these things, because you do have both notice and tech. Does that sound and make sense to everybody? Any objections? Of course, this is a democracy. Okay, so
Well, I'm just noting if you're letting Gwen do that, we're all gonna get to do that.
yeah, if you have a thing that works like that, I'm happy to let you all do it. Okay, so however, since you're not focusing on any specific car and you're trying to get a sense for all of them, I am gonna put this at you have 8 points, you have 5 in understanding. I'm gonna put this at heroic, so you need 5 successes.
Woo! Okay. Let's see.
You got 8 points to wait. Do you have 8? Yeah. You have 8 points to spend though after you roll, so could work.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, that can get me to 3 out of 5 successes.
Okay, all right.
Wow.
Then, okay, so one of those is like, so since part of what you asked for was like, hey, I want to check out everybody else's stuff and know where my car is going to have an edge. One of those successes is your car's edge over the other two. And we'll say 1, 2, 3. We'll just actually roll me 2d6s and tell me what the two numbers are. And we'll say, okay, so you've noticed this for such and such.
Got a 5 and a 3.
5 and a 3. Okay, so Elahe's and Ambrose's cars are the ones you kind of like are examining at this point. Elahe and Ambrose, tell me something. What's a weak point to your car?
Ooh, okay. Weak point that you can notice on my car immediately is that it is very clearly not built to withstand collision. That it doesn't look very like strong. And if anything, you can probably estimate that it was designed to be fast, but not to get hit. So weak point is if you hit it, it probably will go crunch.
Oh boy. Ambrose?
Yeah, actually same. Very fast. Designed to be fast, well able to be handled, but not particularly tough. There is a good bit of armor to it, but I think it's like once you get past that armor, there's not much
Gotcha.
in the health department.
Okay. Beautiful. Love that. Angie, are you doing anything in particular in this space?
I think I just want to talk to Desdemona before we get started
Yeah, go ahead.
and just be like, may the best driver win, and hopefully we can work together out there as we have some mutual goals that I think we would both want to see happen.
Right. Yes, collaboration. Well, we'll have to see what happens.
Mhm.
I know my vehicle
And I
very
kind of-
well.
Yeah, I kind of give Desdemona a look like, I don't want this. I know you don't want this. Let's make this work. Like, let's get out of this. Like,
She gives you a look of just like, we're on the same page, you just might not like the outcome.
it's fair. It's fair.
I have a question for y'all. Have you two like openly acknowledged the scandal around Vanessa yet, or are you doing the like don't talk about it, just pretend it's not there
We
kind
don't.
of thing?
We don't.
Talking about it would just add more fuel to that particular fire that is already ablaze and burning the house to ash. So we will just not discuss it. We'll just not discuss it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it. I'm not trying to get like a lot of like hard intel about anybody's cars because my car is built to hit stuff. So
No, exactly. Excellent. Ooh, this. Okay, okay. Anybody else? Any other things anybody wants to do?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gray.
I think the thing that I want to know is kind of like, as we're all, trying to like work on our cars and totally not be checking out everyone. I want to see kind of like, where are the social alliances, because there's all of these rumors and all of this scandal, and I'm kind of like not part of that. So I think Ambrose is a little nervous that they're all gonna become gunning for them. So sort of like, where are the politics of this race, and kind of like who do I need to watch out for?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, coming from me.
Okay. So like, just so I understand this, you are like, is this more of a like you're watching the three of them as they interact to pick up on body cues, or is this more of like you're like with the information that you currently have and listening in, you're trying to understand what's going on there?
Yeah, I think probably more of the second, like, who's talking, what's going on, what can I overhear?
Okay, so we'll do understanding for that, and then you can also add let's see, notice to that as well.
Okay,
So
I get...
And we'll set it at a, I don't think it's particularly hard personally for this, so we'll set it at difficulty of extreme, so you need 2 successes. And you'll have a +3 to add to that.
Yeah, and I got 2 successes.
Okay, excellent.
Natty. Oh wait, no, I don't sixes, like, don't you get to reroll?
That's right. Thank you.
I got a natty 6.
Oh wait, you're so right. Thank you.
That feels so weird. That feels so weird to say a natural 6.
So hey folks, part of how this game works is like every time you roll a natural 6, you can keep rolling it, and if you keep getting 6s, it keeps adding to the total until it no longer gets it. However, you don't lose the 6s you got before. So it's kind of like a win-win, little guy. But yes, please go ahead and roll again.
All right, I got a 1, so that's just 2 successes.
Okay. So with those 2 successes, hey folks, anybody want to answer Ambrose's question here, which is specifically like who's got alliances going on right now, like who's, that kind of thing. What is Ambrose picking up here?
I mean,
I
it's
think.
obvious to you already because you know that we don't like each other, and so I think
Yeah.
it's pretty obvious that like, okay, you know, Elahe is gonna be like someone to watch out for you. I think one thing that's like more subtle that you notice on his end is that he seems to be giving Vanessa a very polite like birth. Which is unusual because normally Allah is, as you know, trained as a deacon in the church, you know, is usually very sociable and very like, you know, oh, like trying to make everybody feel comfortable and have small talk with everybody and whatnot. But today seems like giving Vanessa a little bit of a birth, and that's kind of weird.
I think. Oh, you go ahead.
But yeah, I was just like, you've watched me talk with Desdemona, know that we are betrothed, but I think I don't know how much Ambrose and Vanessa have like talked in the past. I imagine that they're fairly close in age. So
Yeah.
I feel like they probably have talked at least a few times and are like acquaintances, if nothing else, like even if they're not like friendly. And so I don't think Vanessa would be like, if Vanessa had her way, you would not be like the first one that she would be targeting at all. It's like, it's unfortunate that we're both going to be driving against each other, you
Yeah.
know, but it is, you know, not actively coming out for you. And, you know, but I don't have any of those hangups against Elahe. So, probably would be everything. He would probably be the first one that I'm gunning for to get out, because then it's like, okay, I've got like maybe a 50-50 shot with Desdemona or with Ambrose of like, even if I don't win, like maybe I can make it work for either my family or for myself.
I think
How? So
also
that's kind of where Vanessa's head is at.
for Desdemona, you'll notice the exchanges between her and Vanessa are far more cordial than they should be, perhaps, for people who are engaged. And the looks across at Alihe are more like there's an understanding look that Desdemona is giving Vanessa, and an understanding look that he is giving Alihe, and they are different kinds of understandings. And you gain one is distant and one is not distant, and you may have a sense that you are not actively in a malicious spot with Desdemona, but unfortunately you're in the way.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Anything else at this point, folks, before we get to the action of it all? And with that, you make your last preparations. There are other people in here. While you don't have access to these mechanics, usually inside of the actual place, any quick repairs, anything, you can ask the mechanics that are provided by the House Godry to actually help you out with anything. So any last minute things, you get any last minute things done that you wish, either by your own hands or by these top class mechanics. You can hear the people kind of milling in above you at this point, and you get into your cars, pull up to the start of the race, and we are about to take off, folks. So here's, for those of you that don't know, and for a refresher for my players, here's how this is gonna work. First and foremost, at the top of each round, who knows how many rounds we're gonna go? I know, you don't. I'm going to ask you all to make a speed check. And essentially what that is you're going to use the lower of either your vehicle's nimbleness or your vehicle/drive skill, because all of you have drive, and drive can be used in the place of nimble, to roll your dice. And however many successes you get, you are going to add that number to your car's speed, and you're going to tell me what that number is, and that's going to dictate your place in the race as the rounds go on. For that matter, you can, so what that kind of means is if you roll well enough, depending on where you are in the placement of each round, there are going to be some penalties, but I will make sure you all know where you are speed-wise. But you could roll well enough to come all the way back from the back to the front and just take the lead. But we shall see how that goes. And then after I've gotten those numbers for you, I'm going to go down the list and be like, hey, what are you doing with your action? And if anybody needs a reaction, that we'll go back and forth on that. But to start off with, top of the round, I'll ask you all for your things, and as your actions affect each other, where your numbers are and what your next numbers will be will have bonuses or penalties to them. And as I ask you, hey, what's your action? Please describe your card for me and what you might be wearing. But let's get this started, everybody. I need you all to make me a speed check. So, as I said, it is the lower of your nimble or drive versus yours or your cars, plus your actual speed number. So go ahead and roll your d6s, add that together, and I will get those from you in a moment.
Just double checking, do we have points to spend, or is this just the straight roll?
So this is, let me double check for you. This is just
So
a
for
straight
me,
roll.
Okay, gotcha.
And we're rolling that number of dice, or we're hitting that number?
You're rolling that. So for example, let's say if you were using your drive, or let's say Hamna, you're using your drive because it's lower than your car's nimbleness. You'd roll 4d6s, and however many sixes you get, you add that number of successes to your car's speed. So you're still rolling the 4, so if Hamna got 3 successes and her car's speed is 2, that's a 5.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
So I rolled 3 5s. My drive is 3, so I guess I can bump all of those up to 6s.
So it is just like a straight roll for this actual.
Oh
one.
no!
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Count.
So your speed is 3 then for this round?
Yeah, my speed is 3.
Yep. Okay. All right.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
So
got
close
one
to it so
success.
far.
Okay. Wait. Who was I heard a number of y'all speaking, and I don't know who to go to now.
Anyone can go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gwen, what did you get?
Okay, I got 1 success out of rolling 4, so that makes my speed a total of 3.
Okay. Oh Jesus! Even out the gate. Gray, what about you?
I got no successes, but I have a speed of 5.
Oh shit! Shit.
Look, I said it was fast.
You did say it was fast. You did say it was fast. Jesus Christ. Okay, and Hamna, what you got going on?
I rolled 3d6s and I got 1 success. My car's original speed is a 5, so that makes it a total 6.
Holy shit. Okay, folks, and at the start of this race, immediately pulling off neck to neck for a moment is Elahay and Ambrose. Kind of coming around. Now the track itself is mostly just like just your regular oval. There are certain points where it kind of does a little bit of an extra turn and but it's mostly pretty straightforward. You have known for there to be obstacles to crop up randomly based on what the upper echelons are yes, throw this in there, throw it in front of such and such. Sometimes if you're unfavored by the crowd, you will probably have a harder time when you're actually doing things. But the two of you just kind of take off immediately, neck and neck for a moment before Elahay pulls forward. Behind both of them, keeping pace with each other, is Vanessa and Desdemona. But with that, we are gonna go with the person who's... Well, actually, we'll start with the lowest. It's a tie, but Desdemona, what are you doing with your action? As you've watched the two pull out in front of you, and you're neck and neck with your betrothed.
Yeah, Desdemona is wearing this sort of tight black suit with copper inlays, has long gloves, that maroon trench coat now with studded metal on the shoulders, and she is riding a completely armored motorbike. It looks like an Iron Maiden, and she is just going along, and you see on top of this Iron Maiden, where it's basically completely enclosed, there is a turret on top, and she does this thing where the turret moves over to the side where Vanessa is and pulls a fake out and instead drives in extremely close to ram her as a chainsaw comes out of the side.
Oh my god. Okay.
That is so sick.
This is so wild. Okay, so what that means is, so you got a chainsaw on the side that is going to be, oh my, I wasn't expecting you to whip out a chainsaw. This is wild. Okay, 1 second as I pull up my own cheat sheet. I know how this works. Okay, so you chainsaw to the side, close quarters. I'm actually not a particularly hard thing to attempt. So I'm gonna put you at let's see, your armor protection. Okay, I'm gonna put you at 2 successes. I'm gonna need 2 successes from you. This is okay. So technically speaking, this feels like it goes within the car's kind of side swiping rules, which is typically a muscle thing for the car. So I'm gonna ask you to do. Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna ask. You can't get 2 successes with your muscle with this car, can you?
I can't. I can't.
Oh,
I can't.
boy.
I have. It is designed to ram, but it
wait.
doesn't have a lot of muscle.
Okay, designed to ram, you say. Let's see. Let's see.
I don't think it helps me.
I don't think it does. I think it just helps you like not take as much damage.
I think I can only get a partial success, but I am still doing it.
Yes, I think you can only get a partial success. So go ahead and roll that d6 for me, friend. Jesus.
Yeah, that's not gonna cut it.
Okay. Okay. So Vanessa, here's a question for you. Do you think that Desdemona's failure is due to like the armoring of your car? Do you think it is like for a fluff reason? Do you think is you like zooming out of the way? Like, what are the vibes here of what's happening as like this kind of collides?
So, yeah, I think that like we have driven together, like, you know, this is the same vehicle that, you know, he's taken on a bunch of other races, so is kind of like aware of Desdemona's tactics, and so is like, nah, I'm good, and like has outfitted her own vehicle to make sure that it's like good. It's got heavy vehicle armor on it, so like even if this had worked, it probably would not have taken much damage. So I think that Vanessa just lets it happen because she also has wheel spikes on her vehicle. So just kind of is like, yeah, sure, I'll take you along for the ride. That's fine. Is not trying to evade.
Man, you do have wheel spikes on the vehicle. Okay, all right, okay. Ooh, okay. So, Desdemona, how sturdy are your tires?
Very.
Okay.
They're not fun.
Okay, cool. So we'll this is not going to be like a tire blowout or anything where you were about to, but these are spikes, so there might be a little bit of a puncture. Not a lot, not enough to have me dropping you a complete category behind, because right now, while the two of you are like not in head, you're still close enough to each other at this point. So you're fine, you're good. Now, Vanessa, anything in particular you're like the specific action you're taking right now?
You mean in response to Desdemona, or
just in general?
It's my turn.
Yeah, it is, sorry, yes, okay. It is your turn.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, Vanessa is kitted out in a dark blue, like a dark blue battle dress, as she calls it, like kind of covered head to toe, fingerless gloves, goggles, and a gold piping along the sides that kind of like emulates her father's military jacket with like the buttons. and she has her hair pinned back with a cap on. And so, like, kind of like looks to the side as like out of one of her windows. She kind of has like a modified like pickup truck kind of. So she has like the cab in the front that has a couple seats in it, but most the seats have been ripped out so that she can put guns back there, basically. So she has a machine gun, a set of linked machine guns on the back, and then she has a rocket launcher on the front, like on the top of the vehicle. So she has built this car for violence, and she calls this truck Blossom. Um, so as she like she's like kind of dismissing Desdemona at the moment because they are side by side, and like she's really like, not because she doesn't think that Desdemona's like, she knows that Desdemona is a threat, but like not built great for side to side stuff, more built knowing that like she's with a lot of fast competitors and some people are going to be behind her. So I think right now what she's going to do, seeing Ambrose and Alahe take off in front of her, she's actually going to try and use her rocket launcher against Alahe.
Oh my god. Okay, alright. So, rocket launcher, okay, let's take a look.
So she has like a very steampunky, like it's like a burgundy like mahogany panel with lots of little like gold buttons and fittings. And so she kind of just like cranks on the rocket launcher and pushes it like while she's steering is kind of the vibe.
Okay, I love to see that. Okay, so for your rocket launcher, we're looking at it right now. It's using the shoot skill. It's going to do 75 lethal damage. Range is distant, which you are all within close range of each other, so you can still hit. You're fine. Okay, so your shoot skill is 4. So, Jesus, yeah. Go ahead and roll. Okay, shoot score is 4. Yeah, I don't think this is particularly hard either. Go ahead and roll me the 4 d6s with a 2 at this point.
I'm going like donkey food. Okay, and so I add my shoot to that?
Yes. So your shoot determines it, and you can add it to it as well. Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's 1 success, and then I have 3 more, so I can do 2 successes.
Okay. Jesus Christ. You ignoring your betrothed, your soon-to-be betrothed,
Just a little.
Just ignoring for a little bit. The rocket, you activate the rocket launcher. Ambrose, you are slightly behind Elhe, so you see this kind of whizzing and boom. So, Elhe, what is your armor for this car?
How do we calculate armor? Because I have a medium vehicle armor that gives me a protection of 11, and
Okay.
I'm not sure if that...
No, yeah, so it actually, it works the same way that your personal armor does, so when you get hit with something, it takes the damage. It takes part of the damage.
I see.
Yeah, it's damage reduction.
I see. So how do we calculate the armor itself?
Oh, that like, your armor is 11.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sorry if I didn't explain that correct. Okay, and how many hit points does your car have?
60.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So...
Oh no. Ugh.
Wait, do you take full damage?
You know what? Hold on a second. Let
take
me
11 off.
You know what? No, you don't take full damage. You take 11 off. But let me just double triple check because damn.
Please do.
Because there's only
I
2
don't-
successes, right?
Hold on a second.
I don't know how it works.
Hold on. I'm gonna double check this real quick because
I'll take one of these if it makes anybody feel
Like,
better, and then I have to
Can
reload
you
it.
use the reaction
that's right.
to like try to
Thank you.
You can
That's right.
evade.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
reaction.
Actually, yes. Thank you so much. Oh my God, great. Thank you for reminding me of that. I forgot for a second. Hey, folks, this is my first time running the system. Okay, so if this, okay, so you have a reaction to try and evade this. If this hits, and I'm reading the rules correctly, it has 75 points of lethal damage. Minus 11 will put it at 64. So
That's still more than my car.
it is still more than your car. You will be out of this race, unfortunately. Okay. So how the like competing roles work here is. Okay, when 2 or more characters pit their skill or attributes directly against each other, the winner is determined with competing roles. If only one, okay, so you, let's see, how exactly? All right, so we're going with, you're trying, let's see, what are we gonna, so here's what we're gonna happen. Angie, we're gonna use shoot for you, and Gwen, nope, not Gwen, Hamna, sorry. Hamna, we're going to use, let's see, do you have, we're going to use drive for you because I think that's the best way to like kind of represent you kind of maneuvering and dodging out of the way. Okay, so it is based on how many success. It's based on how many success. Oh, sorry.
Just shoot, or is this? So sorry. Is this just shoot, or is this like understanding shoot? It's normally like
you're right.
You can do attribute skill or attribute only. So
understanding shoot, Hamna, nimbleness, drive, which pick whichever one works best for you. So you two are gonna roll your dice and you're gonna tell me what your successes are. So it's like just rolling off against each other.
Two successes.
I also got 2 successes.
Okay, so in the event that y'all tie in these successes, if 2 or more competing characters achieve success, the character with the highest number of successes wins, okay? If the character have the same number of successes, the character with the highest skill being used wins. Okay, so...
I have a drive of 4.
Okay.
I have a shoot of 4.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
Okay, it's fine, it's
Double
fine.
tie break.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If the characters have the same level of skill, the character with the highest attribute being used wins.
Nimbleness 3?
Understanding 3.
Oh my god.
If the characters have the same attribute value, the contest is a tie with no clear winner, as interpreted by the game master. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen.
Okay.
11 minus we're gonna divide it. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna half the damage. I'm gonna half the damage.
Fair.
So the 64 turns into a 32, and I'm gonna round it down to 30. I just like good even numbers.
So let's say that I was already gearing up to shoot Alahe, and then when Desdemona rammed into me, like it didn't do any damage to my car, but it pushed me a little bit off range.
This is perfect.
And so it kind of just lanced up the side of Alahe's car.
And you're going to take 30 points of damage. God, I cannot believe we had to use every single example in this competing role just now. That is wild. Thank you so much for that. Okay, next up with that turn in the reaction, Ambrose, what are you doing, homie?
I see the rocket launcher launching the rocket. I'm like, well, I can't have that happening again. So I'm like, I think fitted out in like, right, like it's what's essentially motorcycle leathers, like, right, like it's kind of very light armor, but enough to like give a little bit of protection within the car. Is buckled in. The car is very like speedster, but it has, I'm imagining, kind of like these sort of like pipes all along it that the mechanisms for the guns and stuff are kind of like hit in. So what I'm going to do is push a button on my on the console, and just this disgusting black smog comes out from the back of my car. I'm using my smoke dispenser, which means that the air behind my vehicle is filled with dense smoke every round for 3 rounds, and any vehicles attempting maneuvers or attacks within the smoke increase the difficulty of the appropriate actions by 3 levels.
Yikes.
This is a hard game.
Damn.
Yikes.
Oh,
Yeah.
god damn. Okay. So that
Look,
means
no, like I might not be in front, but they're not gonna fuck with me.
no, they're not. No, they're not. Okay. Okay, yeah, no, damn. Okay, that's great. That's great. And last but not least, and actually first, Ella, hey, what's going on?
So Elahe's car is this. It looks like a giant tube, functionally. It is this long, thin car that is made out of a black metal combined with copper. So it's got this very kind of sleek design to it. It has really big lights on it, and all along the sides there is like steam coming out of it as different pistons and pumps kind of like operate around it. And when you look at the tires and you look at the rims of the tires, there are crosses in sort of like embedded into the design of the rims itself. Inside of the driver's seat, we see Elahe. And Elahe is dressed in this white kind of like long sleeve puffy shirt, has a corset on that is made of this brown leather acting as armor for him, that sort of has crisscrossing belts, and on his side, on his hip, is where he has sort of his rifle kind of encased there. And in addition to that, he has a sort of like high collar in which he is wearing a very large choker necklace that has another cross kind of like dangling from it. He's wearing like dark breeches and these long lace-up boots, and as this rocket launcher kind of goes across and hits, not fully impacting but kind of hits his car, Elahi kind of like ducks to protect himself because his car is not covered, so it is completely open to the elements as this sort of rocket goes by. But he sees kind of in the rearview mirrors the smoke starting to form from behind Ambrose's car, and kind of like understands what Ambrose is trying to do, and is like, okay, well then let's turn that up a notch, and goes to the kind of like dials that are in front of his dashboard, goes to a particular button and presses it, and from the back of his car, from one of these sort of like long copper pipes, you start to see this like black inky substance, this oil, start to dispense. And I am going to use my oil slick dispenser to create rough terrain behind my car, and so that will also affect Ambrose. And now any pursuing driver, so anyone behind me, has to make a roll to keep control of their car or lose it.
Holy shit. Okay, damn. Yeah, as all four of you kind of go racing around at this point, rocket launcher going off, smoke being poured out behind, an oil slick on this. People are shouting, yes, 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 Deacon, you go. There are, despite the fact that there are people who are like very sure that you are like letting the church be, you know, influenced. There are some that know who you are, know your heart, and don't believe it and are still cheering you on. But then there are others, like there's actually a whole church section. There's actually a whole section of like churchgoers that are like, that are kind of torn between like wanting someone from the church to succeed. Hold on a second. Wanting someone who's representing the church to succeed, but also fearful of what that success will look like with the kind of rumors going around. But there are other people like, no. Vanessa, I think you can hear in the crowd, you can hear Abigail, Vanessa, come on, you can do this. Very much cheering you on. Ambrose, you can see Edwin watching both you and Vanessa, just very like tense. The only one of the family ever there, since the younger siblings are not actually allowed to be here. And okay, that is the end of that round, folks. And so in this, you have covered the first half of the race. Like, it is not a particularly long track, but it is, and usually in the previous races, you've had to done multiple laps, but this is a like make or break, like, hey, once and you're done kind of deal. People like want to get to the end at this point and are very excited about it. And so you and now we're at to the start of the next, like the second half of this, racing towards the finish line. So I need everybody to make me a speed check. So you can either it's your nimbleness or your drive.
I was just gonna ask, are the others going to make their keep control checks like as part of this, or is that after?
So I'm asking all of y'all to make your thing, so we have that at the top, and then I'm gonna ask the three of them to make their keep control checks. So we'll get the numbers, and then
But this is just a flat roll. If it's just a flat roll, then mine is 4.
okay, you've gotten 4 for yours. Gwen, what about you?
3.
Three.
Still 3.
Ambrose,
1 success, so I got a 6.
6, and Gwen. Nope. Jesus, why do I keep saying Gwen? Hamna. I don't know why. Jesus Christ.
I've stolen Gwen's identity.
Yeah,
I
honestly.
actually also got a 6, so we are tied.
Okay. All right. 6. Okay. So, keep control. If a vehicle drives across a slick surface, such as oil, suffers heavy damage in a single attack, or is rammed in any way, the driver must immediately make a nimbleness/vehicle skill to keep control, unless they actively want to crash. If they fail, they can use their action to the following round to make a second roll to try and bring the vehicle to a safe halt or landing or crash. However, since this is the second half of the race, if y'all fail this, you're out of this. So,
Oh God.
it is.
I do have off-road capable. Would that help me in any way?
Dang.
I will say I will.
GM applied environment modifiers for rough terrain are ignored in all but the most extreme cases.
Try it.
GM applied. It's not. I didn't apply. So I'm gonna say
That's-
this is a player one, but I will lower the difficulty for the two of you with the off road by 1. Does Hamna? Does that feel fair? The two of you, does that feel fair?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
fine.
All right. So, however, this isn't.
Also, Vanessa and Desdemona's are increased by 3 because of the smoke.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Then
first
no,
off,
I don't make it.
okay, wait. So first off, the original number is going to be tremendous because this is a serious oil slick, right? So it would have been 4. So then that number is reduced to 3 for you, Ambrose. That number is reduced to 6 for you, Vanessa, and that number is 7 for you.
There's
Desdemona.
not enough dice.
Is that?
Maybe
I don't
there's-
know if that's
maybe there's not
possible.
It
enough
is,
dice.
if you
There's not
roll
enough
if you
dice.
roll 6s and you keep rolling, you could succeed. But you do have to get at least
Baby,
one
there's not
natural
enough
6.
dice. Baby,
One?
it's
Okay.
not gonna happen.
You know what? It
There's
might.
not enough dice.
It might.
It's no, I just rolled.
sorry.
It's not gonna happen.
What are
I
we-
rolled
Okay. So this is a nimbleness vehicle skill. So essentially, it is your
Oh, okay.
it's y'all's drives, and you do, and because it's not like the speed check, you do have the like, hey, you can use your thing as points. So. Okay, we're gonna
so
come back to you in a second.
I think I succeeded if I can. So I got a 6 and I re-rolled a 6 and got a 5. So if I can add a point to that, then I make it.
I don't think that's how that one works, unfortunately. I think that I'm pretty sure that's not.
Yeah.
I'm like 99% sure that's not how that works. So unfortunately, shit.
That's okay.
I got 2 successes.
Okay,
Hoping.
so I'm gonna go to each of you, starting with Gray. It's gonna be Gray, Gwen, and then Angie to tell me how your car crashes. And then
Oh yeah.
we're gonna cut to Hamna. Gray, take it away.
Yeah, I think this is probably like just it comes too fast, right, for Ambrose to see it. Like they're focusing on the button on the people behind them and they don't see the giant oil slick. So I think they just hit it so fast that they just utterly spin out. And just like kind of the very classic like spiraling the car as they're trying to keep control, but it's too slick.
Gwyn?
Desdemona just runs into the smoke, does not expect oil there, and just this bike that is, again, built like an Iron Maiden, with spikes both on the inside and the outside. As she goes into the smoke, there are these crystals that were embedded into the wheels and in different parts, and they start to glow purple, and it doesn't look good for her, as they begin to burn off more in the smoke, and it looks like there are like fireworks, and there's red and purple, and it looks like hellfire as she just completely spins and flips and rolls off of the track. Luckily, she has a roll cage. She was prepared for that. And she just keeps rolling. Her bike is so small. The momentum just keeps going till it's all the way on the other side of the track.
Angie.
So with 2 1s and a 3, which is what I got. I didn't get close. So basically, I think what was happening, saw the glancing blow from the rocket, and she says, okay, and was like starting to do a stunt where she would have like hard braked her truck to spin it so that the machine guns were facing Ambrose and Elahe, and like as she's starting this stunt, she hits the oil that she can't see because of the smog, and just like spins and spins and spins, and like the car is just on the oil and just like collides with the side of the wall of like the track. Because if there's people down watching, then I imagine it's like NASCAR where they have like the walls and then like the big fences. So I imagine she just like rams hard into the side of that wall and like kind of gets stuck with the wheel spikes and like can't physically like move out of it.
May I offer a resolve token move?
What exactly are you about to do here?
Okay, I will describe it and you can tell me if it's legit or not, okay? I think Elahi sees through the rearview mirrors that everything's happening. People are crashing out and it is just intense. And I think he takes a second to think about what's about to happen. He's going to win this race, but what does it mean to win this race? Is that actually going to bring him happiness? Is that actually the thing that he needs or wants, or is it better left to somebody else? And so I think Elahi like pushes on the brakes really, really hard and allows his car to go backwards into that oil slick where Vanessa's car is spinning and spinning and has crashed into the wall, and using his own wheel spikes, I think, like locks his tires onto Vanessa's tires. And because my car is so fast, I'm going to use my resolve token to like spin my car around and then disengage from Vanessa's to shoot her across the finish line instead. If that is amenable to folks.
Hell yeah. I don't even think you have to use a resolve token for that. I don't think anybody's going to argue about it. And in a grand race, history-changing move, the obvious winner rolls backwards, frees another racer, and jettisons them into first place, crossing the finish line. There is silence. People are in disbelief. They are literally... until Viscountess Major Godfrey. And the winner of this year's grand race is Vanessa St. Pierre! And the crowd screams, goes wild! You can, Vanessa, you can heal Abigail over the shouting and screams of everybody. And for a moment, and then there is, you don't hear her voice again, but looking at her, if you do, you can see she is just staring at you, just eyes wide, and just love full in her face. And your father has jumped over the stands and is running towards you, just, like the most unput together you've ever seen this man, honestly. And save for when your siblings were born and you were assuming with you too. Just, oh my god! And with that, folks, that is where this ends. because we do have a player that has to leave. What we're going to do right now, I would like, as I go around asking you to do your outros, to give a few short sentences on what life is immediately like, what life is like after this race. To start it off with, we're going to give it to our player that has to go. Gwen, please tell us what life's like for Desdemona after this race, and a few in like your outro.
Yeah. Desdemona is only mildly disappointed because she made up her mind when this race started, is that whether or not her actual love was going to win, that he was going to be with him regardless. And so he denounces his family name, and he calls off the wedding with Vanessa, and starts whatever life he's going to have with Elahi. And I have been Gwen Orlecto. You can find me at Glitchy Pixie most places, at glitchypixie.com. I have had the pleasure of being Desdemona Enigmas. Thank you all so much for having me. It's been a great time.
Thank you so much for being here with us. Angie, you're up. What happens with Vanessa? A few sentences, and then your outro, please.
Yeah, Vanessa St. Pierre, now that there is all this scandal, it seems only right to save Desdemona's good name, even though she quickly besmirches his own good name. But she calls off the engagement, runs off with Abigail Carruthers, and joins the upper echelon with her, and leaves a very nice letter and some legal work for one Mixed Ambrose Collins, because there is now a gaping hole in the eldest child spot in the St. Pierre household. So that's what Vanessa does on her way out. I'm Angelique, also known on the internet as Angelica Babineau, co-author of the Tangled and Thieving Heart series. I realized I didn't talk about myself at all at the beginning of this, so I also DM and GM a bunch of different games, and I am a co-author of this Everbright Saga, big queer normative romance series, polyamorous and based in D&D-esque world. So you can find me on Instagram.com/AlanSet_books. And that's me. And I had the pleasure of playing Miss Vanessa St. Pierre, soon to be Miss Vanessa Carruthers.
I love this. Hamna, please.
Yes, so Elahi was true to his word that he had said in his letter to Desdemona, and at the very end of that race, after the festivities had died down, after the excitement about Vanessa's victory had kind of petered away amongst the crowd, had asked for Desdemona's hand in marriage once again, right then, right there in front of everyone, and had offered to the church to stay in his post if they would allow it, and if not, then he would politely resign. So depending on how that went, I think his life takes a very different turn. But all the same, he is there for his family the best that he can be.
I will say that what you did in choosing someone else to win, there are sermons speaking on it. Yes, and do not choose like earthly pleasures, and choose that which makes you most close to God, and they are happy to accept you. There is a conversation that has to be had about what exactly is going on with the Enigmas and Desdemona, but you do remain in the church and are able to progress throughout the ranks as far as you would like.
With my witch wife, who's not a witch. Anyway, I have been Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer and producer. If you like my work and you want to keep up with it, you can follow me on the social medias at LilithTTRPG. I primarily post on Blue Sky right now. I'm not very good at social media, so that's the place you want to be if you want to keep up. But yeah, today I have been Elahi Ghalib, who uses he, him pronouns, are a wonderful deacon married to a witch. Good times.
Thank you so much. And last but not least of my players, Gray.
Yes. I think Ambrose um, probably starts a correspondence with Vanessa as she is up there with her beautiful wife, and would take on uh, the duties of an eldest child as much as the colonel would allow, um, which I think he probably can't fight.
It takes a little
Vanessa's
time to
will
get used to
too
it, but
much.
he
Yeah,
gets
it's
over
fine.
it.
It's fine. Sorry about your dead ex, sir. um, and I think probably teaches Jacqueline the joys of racing.
Oh yeah.
And I have been Gray. I am found at Aliengenic on socials, mostly again Blue Sky, and I am a TTRPG enthusiast, home GM, home player, love the hobby and the games, and the stories that we tell. It's been an honor to play Ambrose Hollins this evening and be able to do such great things for charity with all of you.
Thank you. It's also been my pleasure to run this for all of you. And hey, folks, my name is VJ Harris. You can find me everywhere at VJH Creations, except for Instagram, which is actually VJH_creations, where I talk about making TTRPGs. I tell you how one of my players bribed me to level up, and I try my best to like create, write, and educate people on how to not write bigoted things in our TTRPG games. And I want to thank everybody who donated to Black Girls Rock. I want to thank Transplanter for RPG for sponsoring us. Thank you so much. We love you here. And make sure to check out Apochromatic Unlimited on Blue Sky for updates. And with that, folks, we shall retire for the evening. Good
Adieu.
night.